So, very good afternoon. We're back here at the Royal Commonwealth Pool in Edinburgh for session 5 of the Scottish National Open Swimming Championships. So we're about halfway through the championships now, 4 sessions down, and we've got 5 to go. We'll be 5 down and 4 to go by the end of this session. I'm Duncan McKinnell, and I'm delighted that I will be taking you through the action this afternoon, along with my fellow commentator, and that is Pam Renfrew. Good afternoon, Pam. Nice to have you on the live stream this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Duncan. Nice to be here.
It's going to be a good fun session, I think. It's all about PBs and maybe the chance to force your way into a second swim this afternoon. We've got a very busy programme this afternoon, lots and lots of heats, and it was a really busy warm-up in the pool earlier. Of course, now the competition pool is nice and calm, and you can see there, that's what we've got coming up. So we had the faster heats this morning. Start off with 400 individual medley for male and open, followed up with the 200 IM for females. Then it's 100 backstroke for both genders, 200 breaststroke, 200 free for the male and open, 400 free for females. Our 50s this afternoon is butterfly. We had double swim off this morning, so that was fun, in the one male and one female, both going together. And then we finish off with the slower 2 heats of the male and open 1500 freestyle. The fastest heat will go in the finals this evening. So that's the programme for this afternoon's session. 400 IM, as I said, is up first, and there are going to be 4 heats of that. Looking at the times, you need to get to just under 5 minutes to force your way to a second swim. The fastest swimmers here are around about 5:06, so they're not that far away. If they could get, well, it's not easy to get an 8 or so second PB. What do you think, Pam? Do you think there's anybody got a chance of that?
I think it's perhaps a bit of a stretch, but it's all really good experience for these swimmers, and the aim to get into that final is always what keeps them going.
And of course it's about progress as well. For a lot of these swimmers, these younger swimmers particularly, they'll be going up maybe to Aberdeen for the summer meet in 2 weeks' time, or something, possibly down to Sheffield for the Next Gen Championships. So they will be focusing on that. But for some, it's going to be the last swim of the season. They'll be off on the holidays after that. And if they're in that group, they will definitely want to finish with a bang or with a big PB to finish off their season well.
They will indeed, and I suspect that there will be a number of swimmers that their swim season almost is at an end, and it's a sort of finite time where you want to say, well, I want to say I've made progress this year. So all to play for, as they say.
Absolutely. We have the swimmers getting themselves ready for our first heat. We have 4 swimmers in it. I think they're all there. Soren just sitting back a bit, you see, just taking a wee sup of water there. So 4 will be Soren Hudson-Young of Stirling Swimming, Kieran Wiseman of Devon, Joshua Nicol, University of Aberdeen Performance, and Alexandra Vasilios of Bells Hill. Entry times in this one 5:20 and 5:21, so should be a close opener for us this afternoon. So the fascinating thing about 400 IM is, of course, you see the individual strengths and weaknesses from stroke to stroke. So sometimes you'll see swimmers going off very well in the butterfly and then they get hauled in later on. But in this one, it looks pretty close so far.
Certainly saw some of that this morning on the breaststroke leg. A lot of change.
So just turning first, it's Alexandru Vasilios, 31.32. But pretty close to him in lane 4 is Kieran Wiseman. And the other 2 pretty close as well, so no huge differences in the butterfly section of this 400 IM, but it is Alexandru, 15-year-old from Bells Hill. Second recently at the West District May meet, that was held in East Kilbride. Well, it's pretty tight now, though, because lane 4, Kieran Wiseman having a very nice second half to his swim. See there, 37.7, so he goes through 109.59, just ahead of Alexandru. Kieran from Devon in Aberdeenshire. So he's in the black cap, and he's now opened up the lead. So are we going to see him moving away in the backstroke? Maybe not, because I think Soren Hudson-Young, the Sterling swimmer, is coming at him now. And he's going to be there or thereabouts at the 150 turn. I think he's going to be in the lead. Let's see. 3 swimmers pretty much in a line there at the turn, just 4 tenths between them. Josh Nicol, in fact, was the fastest of those on that 50, 14.99. So he's there in lane 5, University of Aberdeen swimmer. So of these swimmers, we've got 2 from the west of Scotland, well, central Scotland really, Stirling and Bellshill, and 2 from the northeast. And at the moment, it's the Stirling swimmer in 3, Soren Hudson-Young, and the University of Aberdeen swimmer Joshua Nicol in 5, and they're pretty close now. Quite a change from after the butterfly, 231.29 and 232.18, so 9 tenths now into breaststroke. As you said, Pam, all could change.
We often see that, don't we? Certainly saw that this morning. Strong breaststrokers do make an impact in this part of the individual medley, and the Stirling swimmer, Soren, does look to be pushing ahead here, just edging ahead of
Kieran Wiseman there. He's making a bit of a move. He was in 3rd going into the breaststrokes, up to 2nd. Well, is he going to have the lead? It's tight. He does have the lead by 13 hundredths. See there, 47.7 against a 49.9 for Soren Hudson, the other 2 in the 50 points. So Kieran has made the move and is pushing on now.
He is indeed.
So halfway down the second length of breaststroke, he'll want to extract every second of advantage that he can, every 10th, every 100th, to give himself a good margin to play with in the freestyle. So up he comes towards 300. Kieran a 5:20 entry time. So would need to do a 1:11 to get under that for his freestyle. Let's see if he can do that. 4:08.92 going into it. So a lead of about 3.5 seconds. So that's a big ask now, you would think, for this following pair to try and catch him. Soren Hudson and Joshua Nicol battling it out for 2nd, ahead of the early leader Alexandru Vasilios in lane 6. But well, we'll get a feel at this turn both as to what Kieran's time is likely to be and also whether he is holding this lead. So 37.5 there. So you can do the maths if you're clever enough. I think we get to about, 5:24. So he'll need to pick it up if he is to match his 5:20 entry time. It is tightening up behind him. Soren Hudson is still holding 2nd, but Alexandru Vasilios has moved up into 3rd place. Nobody's going to catch Kieran, though. He's got this. Watch the clock as he comes into the final few meters. Just going to be a little off his entry time, but not much. 5:22.58. A good solid swim to get us started this afternoon. Soren Hudson-Young just holding off 2nd, only by 18 hundredths. Alexandru Vasilios just behind him, and Josh Nicol in 4th. So that's the first of the 4 heats in the bag, and there's your lineup for heat 2.
So we have in lane 1, Charlie Cairns, Heart of Midlothian. Lane 2, Max Clark, South Ayrshire. Lane 3, Struan Payton, University of Aberdeen Performance. Lane 4, Logan Reid, Elgin. Lane 5, Jack Shaw, Bells Hill. Lane 6, Hamish Tucker, Warrender. Lane 7, Ross Winters, East Lothian. And lane 8, Jack Maher of Hoylake. So all 8 swimmers here, and we will see how this unfolds. Strong start in the centre lane for Jack Shaw. And he turns in a time of 30.76, so he's putting down a marker here, trying to pull away from the rest of the field. They're all relatively evenly spaced behind him, some working a bit harder, but the University of Aberdeen performance swimmer Logan Reid in lane 4, trying to work hard and cut down any lead that Jack has made, and look much closer now, not much between them at that turn. 1:07.33, 1:07.92. The split's very similar there. Also coming up in lane 7, we have Ross Winters, East Lothian, 14-year-old swimmer from East Lothian. He was third in the East District event, I think. And he's having a very strong backstroke here. And he may, in fact, just take over. No, he does not. Struan Payton, lane 3. The University of Aberdeen performance swimmer, but keep your eye on lane 7.
Yeah,
Ross Winters, he's made a real move here.
Yeah, he has given it a good go,
indeed.
and certainly challenging for the lead. Also moving up quite nicely, Charlie Cairns of Hearts in lane 1.
The outside lane.
So he's challenging Jack Shaw, the early leader, for 3rd place now, but it's very tight at the front. Still Struan. 2:28.62, that's about 2.5 seconds faster than the first heat. And he's got a lead of 0.8 over Ross.
So let's see how the breaststroke unfolds.
Charlie Cairns is looking good in lane 1. He's definitely making progress here.
He is indeed.
And he's joining the front 2 now. Ross Winters doing his best to try and stay in the mix there. And then lanes 4 and 5 side by side. Logan Reid, not mentioned him, the Elgin swimmer, alongside Jack Shaw, and Max Clark not far away from them as well. But let's just check at the front here. Who's going to get the touch? It's Ross, I think. Yes, oh no, it's Charlie Cairns out of shot. So now we can see him, 3:16.08. So I did think he was having a good breaststroke, and that's coming through very nicely here.
He is indeed making a real impact here. And he's pulling away, I think, from Ross.
Yeah, the setup
all happening behind as well.
Yeah, the setup, I think, for an interesting final 100 here, because Charlie Cairns certainly has made a big move in the breaststroke. Let's see what his lead's going to be. It's going to be a bit more than the body length, I think. What does that translate to in time? 4:00.85 against 4:03.82. So 3 seconds Ross will have to try and make up in this final 100. That is quite a big ask. 3rd place, Max Clark now. So he had a good breaststroke as well. So, as so often is the case, it's breaststroke that decides it, and Charlie Cairns has taken that momentum from the breaststroke into the freestyle. We'll check his split for his first 50 free here as he comes in to the turn for 38.18, a 37.3. So what are the others coming in? So that is faster than Ross, but Struan Payton coming up fast. Look at that, 35.7. But he's quite a long way back. You see them in the white cap there in lane 3. He's not going to catch Charlie. I think you can be pretty sure of that. Charlie Ken's entry time, 5:19.50. He's going to be inside that. So this is an impressive swim from the Hart swimmer, 16-year-old. And he's going to bring this in a time of 5:14.25. So a couple of seconds inside his entry time. Nicely done. Struan Payton did come through to take second. Another very fast final 50, 32.0 there. So Struan on the charge at the end, just getting past Ross Winters, who takes third in a 5:17 inside his entry time as well. So was Struan. So some nice PBs in that one. Top 3 all inside their entry times.
Struan perhaps leaving too much in the tank for the end of the race.
So this is heat number 3 up on your screen. Just counting the swimmers, I think we've got them all there. So the lineup is Cameron Duncan of Carnoustie in lane 1, Karen Brown of Aberdeen in 2, Harry O'Halloran Hutchinson of Dermottside and Gateshead in 3, Sam Ruff of City of Glasgow in 4, Finlay Duffin of Warrender in 5, Solomon McMillan of Affadotta in 6, Angus Donald of Warrender in 7, and Clark Malkin Gill of Inverclyde in lane 8, 5:10 to 5:17, the range of times in this one. Harry O'Halloran Hutchinson, 30.03, so a nice opening 50 for the swimmer from Dermottside and Gateshead. Up by a metre or so from Finlay Duffin in lane 5, and Clark Malkin Gill going nicely up at the top of your screen in the white cap, lane 8. Also now making a late push at the end of the butterfly is Samuel Ruff. In fact, he's come through very fast in that last few metres of fly. Almost has the lead, 1:07.91 against 1:07.97. So it's these two, Harry and Samuel, in lanes 3 and 4. Pretty much stroke for stroke on the backstroke, ahead of the red capped swimmer Finlay Duffin of Warrender. He's going to get the touch here. I think it might just be Sam. Well, there's not a lot to choose between them. Let's see. Nope, got that wrong. Harry gets it, 1:48.8 against 1:49.10 for Sam. And certainly got a little bit out of that turn, Harry, as well. That was a nice turn from him. And he's using that momentum just to pull away a bit now. With Sam Ruff. Good race going on for third. Lanes 5 and 6 in particular. Finlay Duffin and Solomon McMillan.
Interesting, they hugging the lane lines, the opposite side, going down, and have changed position at the halfway. So they're now very close to each other as they come in to complete that leg of the IM onto their breaststroke leg. So interesting to see what will happen. 2:28.18. Harry marginally ahead of Samuel, the City of Glasgow swimmer. He does look like he is opening up a bit of a gap between them here. And behind us, lane 6, Solomon McMillan. We haven't really mentioned him. He's coming through in lane 6. So he's splitting faster than Samuel Ruff. So it will be interesting to see what happens as we come into the final stages of this breaststroke leg. But Harry O'Halloran Hutchison opening up a gap ahead of Samuel Ruff. Breaststroke again key here, opening a distance between them.
Yeah, Harry has looked very strong. He was strong on the backstroke and looking very nice on the breaststroke there. You can see a 45.6 for his second half of the breaststroke, and that you can see is, well, certainly faster than Sam. Similar space to Solomon.
Solomon does look like he's making a bit of a move on this freestyle leg, just pulling himself ahead of Sam. But it does appear that Harry has this well under control. As he comes up to the halfway point of his freestyle, 34.92, split 35.93. So we'll look at the others. So yes, very much a race on for the second place between lanes 7 and 5. So we have, sorry, lanes 6 and 4, my apologies, Samuel Ruff and Solomon McMillan. But it is Harry O'Halloran Hutchison who's very much in control of this in a time of 5:09.12. So that is the fastest time we have seen. And Solomon McMillan did emerge victorious in that little battle. Very tight between them, 5:15.29, 5:15.34.
Yeah, just 500s in it on that one, but that was a lovely improvement from Harry. Entered 5:12.70, taking that down to 5:09.12. 3.5 seconds knocked off his time, so very well done to Harry O'Halloran Hutchinson.
He'll be a happy
Harry.
Happy Harry, he will indeed, a happy Harry.
Yeah, you can't beat a happy Harry. So we've got one more heat in this 400 IM. There's your confirmation. Unfortunately, oh no, not such a happy Harry, because he's been disqualified. Oh, that is a shame after that brilliant swim. So it is Solomon McMillan in the end who takes that heat. So that's a bit of sad news on the end of heat 3. So you'll line up now for heat 4. And it is Ewan Nielsen of Cumbernauld in lane 1, Lucas Innes of Falthouse in 2, Jaden Chan of Hearts in 3, Kieran Hayes of Aberdeen in 4, Fergus Reid of Geary in 5, his teammate Adam Gibson in 6, Andrew Patterson goes in lane 7 for City of Glasgow, and William Oliver for Alnwick Dolphins in lane 8, 5:06 to 5:10 in times here. As I said, need a 4:58 to get into the B final. Just under 5 minutes to get onto the reserve bench. That is a big ask. Let's see how they get on. Ewan Nielsen, 30.05. Good solid start from him, 3/4 of a second ahead of the rest of the field, so taking it out nicely from the outside lane. In fact, the other outside lane also going pretty well, William Oliver of Alnwick, so just over the border. And Lucas Innes of Falthouse as well. So the outside lane, so at the moment, setting the pace.
They are indeed. And as we come up to the end of the fly leg, 1:06.35 for Ewan Nielsen, followed by the other outside lane, William Oliver, just a second behind him. But as we've said, all can change, a very long race, and we perhaps see in the centre lanes a bit of a move. The yellow cap of Fergus Reid of Geary, I think that is. He has indeed made a bit of a move here, so he's pulled himself ahead of William Oliver in this backstroke leg. Ewan Nielsen still in control, but the yellow cap of Geary in the centre lane, lane 5, inching ever closer to the yellow cap in lane 1. Will Ewan be able to maintain that lead that he built up in the early stages? Difficult to tell from here.
Yeah.
He may have seeded it, I think. Oh, very close. Fergus Reid, indeed. Fergus Reid, the Geary swimmer, lane 5. The yellow caps battling it out.
Not for long though, because here
No.
comes Kieran Hayes in the white cap in lane 4. And also lane 2, Lucas Ennis, who was good in the fly, and he's coming roaring back in the breaststroke as well. So now this is going to be an interesting one, I think. We've got 5 swimmers, all fairly close here. Lane 5 is Fergus Reid after that excellent backstroke. But he's now coming under pressure from Kieran Hayes. They'll know each other well, you would think. Both swimming in the northeast, Geary and Aberdeen.
Lane 8 not out of this either. William Oliver still in the mix.
Yeah, 42s there for Kieran, and Lucas were the fastest in the water down that last length. So that is lane 4 and lane 2. Lane 4 in the white cap, Kieran Hayes right alongside Fergus Reid in the yellow cap. So it is Aberdeen versus Geary at the front of this one. As we come up to 300 metres, they are pretty much stroke for stroke still. See, maybe just the white cap of Kieran. Just going to touch first. But we're only talking quarter of a second, so it's all going to be down to the freestyle here.
Northeast Derby.
Yep. The fine people of Inverurie battling the equally fine people of Aberdeen.
And lane 6.
Yeah, another
The other
Geary
Geary
swimmer.
swimmer.
Yeah. He is coming roaring up. Adam Gibson. Look at him go in lane 6. We've not talked about him the whole way through the race,
No.
and look at him now. He's in the lead.
They are known for their long distance freestylers in Geary though.
Yeah.
Albeit not long distance here, but they have the endurance in this event. And he's kept it right to the end, surprising us.
Yeah, this has been excellent stuff from Adam. 5:07 entry time he did at the University of Aberdeen long course meet, which he won. 4th in national age groups. Let's see what his time is. It's going to be inside 5:07. So that says beautifully swum. 5:02.53. Well, that's not too far away from a second swim. I won't quite get there, but it was within a few seconds of it. So well done, Adam. Great stuff. And a big PB of 5 seconds. So that is impressive indeed, and really, well, he judged it well. He kept himself in. Unfortunately, we have another disqualification, and that is Ewan Nielsen from lane 1. So a couple of DQs in that heat. But we now move half the distance, change the gender, and it's 200 IM for the females. This is the first of 5 heats.
So we have lane 1, Eva Gordon, City of Glasgow. Lane 2, Imogen Lau, West Hill. Lane 3, Emily Dickens, City of Glasgow. Lane 4, Abby Mitchell, Elgin. Lane 5, Amy Rimmer, Bells Hill. Lane 6, Ellen McPhee, Fauldhouse. Lane 7, Pippa Brotherton, South Tyneside. And lane 8, Ellen White, Stirling Swim. So the City of Glasgow swimmer, Emily Dickens, she's off to a roaring start here. We have Emily Dickens in lane 3 and Amy Rimmer lane 5. The Bells Hill swimmer, 14-year-old Amy. On to the backstroke, and it is lane 5. Amy, the Bells Hill swimmer, she is putting down a marker here, pulling herself ahead of the rest of the field in this backstroke leg.
Yep.
She has indeed pulled herself ahead and turns now at 1:12.75. So Amy Rimmer 8th in the, is that the Aberdeen meet, was she?
Yep. National age groups.
National age groups. So she does have a bit of a pedigree in this event.
Yep.
And she is trying to maintain this lead, but she is not having it all her own way. Lanes 7 and 8 coming at her in this breaststroke leg, and lane 7 putting on a bit of a sprint here. Pippa Brotherton, 11-year-old from South Tyneside.
Absolutely, 11 years old, and she is looking good here.
She is indeed. She has had a storming breaststroke, and is she going to do enough to hang on? Amy Rimmer is coming at her, and will Pippa manage to hang on to that lead she built up on the breaststroke leg? I think she may just do enough. She does indeed. So that is a storming finish from Pippa Brotherton, the 11-year-old, in a time of 2:36.50.
So just 100th away from the time she did at Northeast Regionals that she's entered on here. So very consistent from the 11-year-old. Must be about the youngest swimmer in this competition, I would think. So very well done, Pippa. Confirming the win there from Amy Rimmer in second place. So good first heat there. Here is the lineup for heat 2. Abby Whitfield, Derwent Side and Gateshead in lane 1. Lane 2 is Iona Kasapidis of Carnegie. 3, Emma Creaney, University of Aberdeen. 4, Bronwyn Payne from the Borders. 5, Lucy Stoves, University of Stirling. 6, Leonie Bebra of Hearts. 7, Krista Mackay of Finns. And 8, Matilda Wilson from Alnwick Dolphin. So the entry times in this one, 2:35s and 2:36s. Don't have an 11-year-old in this heat, but we do have a 13-year-old, and that's Matilda Wilson of Alnwick, going in lane 8. So we'll see what she can do. She's very much the youngster of this heat. Bronwyn Payne with the fastest entry time, 2:35.00, and she's just turning first. Well, no, she's not. It's Emma Creaney just ahead of her by 200s, 32.29 against Bronwyn's 32.31. So the two of them side by side, University of Aberdeen and Best, and not far behind them, Lucy Stows from the University of Stirling. Just checking on that, because that doesn't look like a University of Stirling hat there. So I just wonder whether there's a reserve come in there.
It is Rosie Stutchfield, I think, in lane 5.
Oh, good spot. Well done. Yep, that is confirmed. So Warren does Rosie Stutchfield, and taking the most of her opportunity here. But she leads at halfway by 100th, 1:12.14. So Rosie with a 2:36.7 entry time. So on paper about a second half slower than the others, but she's holding her own in the breaststroke, although coming under a bit of pressure from Bronwyn now. So it is these two, but Rosie, maybe half a metre thereabouts, and holding that up. In fact, maybe just slightly increasing that lead now. So you get your opportunity, grab it with both hands, and that's what Rose is doing here.
She is indeed.
58.52, about 2.5 seconds faster than the previous heat. And turns now over a second ahead of Bronwyn Payne. Pushing on in lane 6, Leonie Bebra of Hearts. Looks like she's moved into second place. Also going well in lane 1 is Abby Whitfield, Derwent Side and Gateshead, but well, she came in as reserve. And she's taken full advantage of her swim. Rosie Stutchfield, I don't think she's going to be caught. She comes in with about a meter's advantage from a very fast finishing Leonie Bebra. That's your 1-2. 2:35.50 for Rosie. That is over a second inside her entry time. The only 2:36.13. And Bronwyn Payne in third, 2:36.75. Oh, nicely done by Rosie Stutchfield there.
Indeed, you get the chance, you go for it.
Absolutely, and she certainly did that.
If you're in a lane, you've always got a chance.
Confirmation of that result. Headed by Rosie. And we move on to heat number 3.
Lane 1, Lauren Cantley, University of Aberdeen Performance, her teammate. Lane 2, Alicia Goodbrand. Lane 3, Molly Irvin Watson, Dumfries. Lane 4, Eva Robertson Highland. Lane 5, Rebecca Shand, Aberdeen Dolphin. Lane 6, Imogen Jarrett, Dundee City Aquatics. Lane 7, Lola Burns, Bath University. And Lane 8, Charlie Hoare, Warrender Baths. So the Aberdeen Dolphin swimmer, Rebecca Shand, off to a good start, as is lane 7. Lola Burns, Bath University swimmer, 19-year-old from Bath University. Looks like she's leading them out here. And she is going to turn first at this halfway point. Oh, it's not the halfway point, my apologies. We then onto the backstroke. So pretty much in line, 4 swimmers is in a line behind her, but she has opened up a lead. Will she maintain this through the backstroke leg? Lane 8 moving very well in this backstroke. That's Matilda Wilson, Alec Dolphins, 13-year-old.
Charlie Hoare, in fact.
Have I got the wrong way round?
Yep,
My
in lane
apologies.
8, 12-year-old. So she's swimming for Warrender, but she does her swimming down in Poole on the south coast. She was second in the Southwest Regionals, but she has the lead by about 4 tenths, 1:11.19. Second faster than the previous heat. Let's see if she can maintain that lead in the breaststroke. So far, it looks like she can. From lane 7, Lola Burns, the early leader from the fly, and then, well, not a lot in it for another four swimmers. But Charlie Hoare, it's the youngsters who are dominating this 200 IM, aren't they?
We saw are that indeed.
Super swim from Pippa in the first heat, and now it's Charlie Hoare really taking it on, the 12-year-old.
She is indeed. The breaststroke making all the difference, backstroke into breaststroke. And now let's see what happens in this freestyle leg. The other outside lane, lane 1, Lauren Cantley. She's had a good breaststroke, but they're all coming at her in a line, but I don't think that she is, well, she may. They're moving quite quickly through the water, but I'm not sure they're going to catch her. 25 metres, she may just have left herself enough, but lane 1, keep your eye on lane 1. She is moving fast. Lauren Cantley, and oh, but no, Charlie has done enough to hang on in a time of 2:34.09. Lola Burns, lane 7, 2:35.43, and Lauren Cantley, 2:35.55. Very fast last 50 there from Lola Burns, fastest in the pool.
So Charlie inside her entry time by around 8 tenths. Good swim from her. And we go on to heat number 4. We have Sophia McMahon, University of Aberdeen in 1, Fern Gray of Sevenoaks in 2, Gina Wren, City of Glasgow in 3, Molly Weir of Hearts in 4, Emily O'Dwyer of Glenalbin in 5, Ava Smith of Geary in 6, Beth Craik of Aberdeen in 7, Erin Ferris of Cumbernauld in 8, 2:32 to 2:34. The range of times in this one. Molly Weir with the fastest of those times, 2:32.50. So she's in lane 4 for Hearts. Going out pretty much in a line. It's only 6 of the 8 anyway. Going good start in lane 8 is Erin Ferris. Is she going to be first to turn? I think she might be. See there as we watch the camera at the end of the pool, and she does have the lead by 2/10. Not as fast as the previous heat, but we did see that very fast start in the previous heat from Lola Burns, so we won't take too much into that at this stage, as Irene doing her best to consolidate that lead. Did a time at the East Kilbride long course meet not that long ago, 2:34.49, West District silver medalist. And she's having a good backstroke leg here. It's opened up that lead. It was 2/10 just at the end of the butterfly. It's certainly going to be a fair bit more than that now. 10:44. It's 1:11.68 now. They are faster than the previous heat, and certainly Irene is. And about 1.2 up on Sophia McMahon, but in the breaststroke, the centre lanes, and Sophia in lane 1. Sophia had a fantastic national age group, so another comparative youngster, 14-year-old, and she is right back in the mix. So is Molly Weir.
Yeah, another youngster, all the 14-year-olds here. She's having a good breaststroke in this outside lane, in lane 1, Sophia, but also lane 4. Molly Weir, the Hart swimmer, and there's a Geary swimmer in there, I think, lane 6. Ava Smith, yeah. So the Geary swimmer, Ava Smith, she has really moved on here, and she's challenging Erin as she comes down to the closing stages of this freestyle leg. And she is moving pretty swiftly here, and I think she may, in fact, maybe Erin will just hold her off. It's going to come down to the touch, indeed it is, and Ava Smith just grabs it from Erin Ferris right at the end of that race. Fantastic finish from Ava there. Fastest in the pool on that leg.
Yeah, inside her inch time by a narrow margin. I sort of signalled to you, no, she's not going to get it there, about 15 metres out, but, well, I was completely wrong there. She just didn't know she was beaten there and just nailed it at the end. That 2:33.26, so one more heat to go. There's your lineup. Maddie Hall for Warrender, Gemma Brown for Carnegie, Amy Rowell of City of Glasgow, Katie Towers of South Lanarkshire, Amelia Burrell, Glenrothes, Gabriella Lessing of Red 96, Lucy Hunter of South Lanarkshire, Maya Loyne of University of Aberdeen. 2:30 to 2:32. They'd have to get down into the 2:27s to have a chance of a second swim. That's a pretty big ask. Let's see if anybody can get anywhere close to that. Good opening butterfly from Gabriella Lessing in lane 6. Also Maya Loyne in lane 8 going nicely, and lane 3 Amy Rowell, who is a strong fly swimmer. So they're the leaders at the 50, led by Gabriella, 31.45. She is the experienced swimmer of the group, 21-year-old from Ren 96.
And she is just maintaining her lead, I think, on this backstroke, but the City of Glasgow swimmer Amy Rowell has had a good backstroke, and she's pulling herself closer to Gabriella Lessing and Maya Loyne out in lane 8, another outside lane. So the breaststroke could be very interesting because there's not a lot between these swimmers. Can we see a move from any breaststroke? Or Maya Loyne going very well in the outside lane in lane 8, and she is now challenging Gabriella Lessing on the breaststroke leg. Lane 1, a wonder swimmer, Maddie Hull, having a good breaststroke. But I think it may still be Gabriella Lessing who just hangs on. She does indeed. 1:57.30. Maya Loyne lane 8, and Katie Towers lane 4 has brought herself into the mix here. The South Lanarkshire swimmer, and she has really powering through this freestyle leg. Just bided her time, hasn't she? And I think she may just do enough to take this heat. She is indeed well timed. 2:30.87. Didn't mention her to the latter part of that race.
Yeah, that's the joy of the 200 IM, isn't it? That you don't know till the race is over how it's going to work out because of the strengths in different strokes. But a well-controlled race there, particularly in the back end from KT. Gabriella Lessing, who led for a lot of it, finishes off in second place. So we are done with our 200 IM. Our next event is 100 backstroke. And we have 6 heats for you in this one, just the 3 swimmers in heat 1. And they are up on the screen. I can tell you they're all present at the blocks. Logan Wright, 15-year-old. In fact, all 3 of them 15-year-olds. University of Aberdeen swimmer. Max Kelly of Geary and Ethan Nolan of Warrender. So they're your trio. Their entry times are just a tenth of a second apart. 1:07.60, 1:07.69 for Ethan, 1:07.70 for Logan. So let's see how this one works out.
This could be very interesting, very close in time. And it's the Geary swimmer who had the better start there, I think, but the University of Aberdeen performance swimmer. So Geary, Max Kelly, Logan Wright, University of Aberdeen performance, the 2 of them possibly just inching ahead, but no, the Warrender swimmer, no, Ethan Nolan, not going to let them have it all their own way. But I think it may just be the Geary swimmer, Max, who gets the touch. It is indeed 32.76. But they are very much in a line, Duncan. Quite hard to call who's going to take this, but Aberdeen, the battle of the Aberdeen and Geary swimmers, the Northern battle, I think might just be inching ahead, and it may just be the Aberdeen swimmer Logan that will take this. Oh, it's going to be very close. It's all going to be down to the touch. It is Logan who wins that Northeast battle. University of Aberdeen performance, Logan Wright in a time of 1:07.84 from his Northeast compatriot Max Kelly, a 1:07.88, and Warrender's Ethan Nolan.
Yep, good tight race for our first heat. Here's heat 2. They line up here. Claire Flaherty of Mulgai and Best End in 1. Kieran Hayes of Aberdeen in 2. Jasper Harrison of Best in 3. Hamish Dotchin of North Tyneside in 4. Daniel Letham of Cumbernauld in 5. Fraser Vass of Highland in 6. Malcolm Ormrod of South Lanarkshire in 7. And Sam Curry of South Ayrshire in lane 8. Entry times 1:07.10 to 1:07.50. All these times end in a 0, which suggests they're probably all short course conversions. So we'll see. In fact, we've got no swimmer in lane 8, so no Sam Curry. At lane 6 and 7, maybe, the ones who are going to turn first. Let's just see. Oh no, it's lane 1. Claire Flaherty, 32.41, about 3/10 faster than the first heat. So the 17-year-old from Mulgai and Best End. Coming under pressure now from lane 6, Fraser Vass, the 14-year-olds. 2 14-year-olds, lanes 5 and 6 in this one, but Fraser is the one who is leading the way. The Highlander, he was the Scottish Schools champion and won Scottish Summer Meet last year. It's going to be tight. Lane 3 not far behind him, but it's Fraser gets the touch. Just ahead of Jasper Harrison in lane 3 by just over a tenth, 1:06.61, 1:06.73. And third, the halfway leader, Claire Flaherty, in 1:07.29. Fraser getting a nice PB there, taking 6/10 off his entry time.
So heat 3, lane 1, Nathan Smith. Orkney, lane 2, Daniel Coombe, Perth City, lane 3, Dean Binney, Inverclyde, lane 4, Stuart Thompson, Perth City, lane 5, Thomas Finnick, Hatfield, lane 6, Max Corcoran, South Ayrshire, 7, Daniel Valkov, University of Aberdeen Performance, and 8, David Grabowski, Best. So we have 2 Perth City swimmers battling it out, so who will be victorious in the battle of those swimmers? Let's see. A good start in lane 6 and also in the centre lane from Stuart Thompson, I think, in lane 4. Daniel Valkov, lane 7, just ahead, 31.78, so slightly ahead of the previous heat. But Stuart Thompson, the Perth City swimmer, in the red cap in lane 4, I think has the slight advantage here. Pulling ahead of the rest of the field. He does indeed have this race in his grasp, and Stuart will take that in a time of 1:04.75. And that is a 2-second, exactly 2-second personal best to PB for Stuart. So Stuart Thompson, 1:04.75, Daniel Valkov, 1:06.77, and Dean Binney, 1:08.12.
Well, that'll warm the heart of Anne Dixon, the Perth City head coach. Of course, your neck of the woods, Pam, Perth City. So you can be pretty happy with Stuart's performance there.
She will be, I think.
Move on to our next heat, which is heat 4. We have Logan Reed in 1 for Elgin, Harry Swarbrick of Carnegie in 2, Dexter Suter, Aberdeen Dolphin in 3, Sam Cool, the Step Rock in 4, Adam Merrick, Cumbernauld in 5, Michael Winship, City of Glasgow in 6, Daniel Boyne, Hearts in 7, and Lucas Rattray of Aberdeen Dolphin in 8. So entry times 1:06s, 1:06.3 to 1:06.7. The start in lane 6, Michael Winship, and in lane 2, Harry Swarbrick. Harry, 14-year-old, is the youngest of these swimmers. Is he going to have the lead at the turn? I think he is. No, it's Michael, 32.45. Well, most of the swimmers here within a metre or so of each other. Lane 4, Sam Cool is definitely a contender, along with Harry in 2 and the halfway leader Michael in 6. Not far away as well, Lucas Rattray in lane 8, but I think it might be between lanes 2 and 4 here. Harry Swarbrick and Samuel Cool, and they are coming in just about together again. It's going to be on the touch. Ooh, that was close. Well, it looked closer than it was. 2/10 in the end. It looked a lot closer than that, but Harry Swarbrick getting the touch. And that's another nice improvement on his entry time, 1:05.55. Entered on 1:06.60, so over a second improvement. Sam Cool also nicely inside his entry time, 1:05.75, so those two on 65s dominating that heat.
So lots of personal best this afternoon.
Which is lovely to see. That's what it's all about this afternoon, or mainly what it's all about. You see they're doing side-by-side starts here.
They are, and we're on heat 5, lane 1, Hamish Maxwell, South Ayrshire, lane 2, Richie Saunders, Warnder, lane 3, Jude Mowbray, City of Glasgow, lane 4, Sky Kumbashai, University of Aberdeen Performance, 5, Tom Robinson, Alnwick Dolphins, 6, Zachary Weatherhead, University of Aberdeen Performance, 7, Luke Garrity, Inverclyde, and lane 8, Calder Murphy, Carnegie. So good start in the centre lanes here, but 4 swimmers pretty much in a line. It's going to be difficult to call here. We'll wait to see. I think it may just be lane 5 that takes this. It is Tom Robinson, lane 5, 30.96. So the fastest split so far. But lane 6, my apologies, lane 6, Zachary Weatherhead. And I think lane 1, Hamish Maxwell, may be in the mix. It is all hotting up between Tom Robinson and Zachary Weatherhead, and it's Tom Robinson. Oh no, it's not. My error. Zach Weatherhead, he does take it. 103.97. Tom Robinson, 104.64.
Try not to apologise.
So Zachary Weatherhead, 103.97. Tom Robinson, 104.64. And Hamish Maxwell, third.
One more heat to go. And the lineup in this heat. Edward Mills was junior champion in the 50 last night. Comes for Highland in 1. Theos Derricker, South Ayrshire in 2. Isaac Buchan, City of Norwich in 3. I don't think we've seen City of Norwich in this meet so far. Adam Hill starting swimming in 4. Luke McCall of Warrender in 5. Finlay Brown of East Lothian in 6. Joe Carty, City of Glasgow in 7. And Harry O'Halloran Hutchinson back in the pool, looking to make amends after that DQ earlier on in lane 8. We called him Happy Harry, but that didn't last long. He became very unhappy Harry. But at the moment, Luke McCall in the red of Warrender has the early advantage in lane 5. 30.41, half a second faster than the previous heat. Luke looking to bring this one back. He's pretty commanding there, half a second clear of Adam Hill in second, others very close. But, well, there's only one winner here. Luke McCall in complete control of this, the 17-year-old. 103.70 is entry time. Can he get inside that? It's looking promising. Let's see what the time is going to be. It's not that far away from the minute. 101.98, so very nicely done. That's nearly 2 seconds knocked off his entry time, so you'd have to be pretty content with that. Convincing win there in that heat from Isaac Buck in second and Adam Hill in third. So we stay with 100 backstroke. We move to the females. 6 heats.
In this first heat, we have Olivia Begbie, Warrender, lane 2, Grace Renfrew, Perth City, lane 3, Rebecca Somerville, University of Aberdeen Performance, lane 4, Naomi Cochrane, Warrender, lane 5, Isla Bryan, Kingston, lane 6, Rebecca Marsh, Renfrew, Baths, lane 7, Neve Shields, South Lanarkshire, and lane 8, Serena Midas Panayi of Aquajets, Newcastle.
So do you know anything about this swimmer in lane 2?
Oh, I do indeed.
So taking it out. Let's see how this one works out. Very nice start from Olivia Begbie in lane 1. Beautiful technique off the wall. So she's up there with her teammate Naomi Cochrane in lane 4. Others pretty close. Isla McBrien in 5 and Neve Shields in 7. Others with a little bit of catching up to do, but there's not too much in it as we come up to the turn. These swimmers entered all in the 113s. I think it's going to be lane 7, maybe Neve Shields, is it? Or is it lane 1? It's lane 1. 35.22, up by a quarter of a second. Olivia Begbie. And a nice turn from her, so showing nice skills there. She was good off the wall at the start and good through the turn there. So the contest is Olivia in 1, Naomi in 4, Neve in 7 and Serena in 8. These 4 are all pretty close here, and then a trio of swimmers battling for 5th place. But who's going to get the touch?
I think it's the outside lane, isn't it? Oh. Yes, it is. It's going to be lane 1, Olivia Begbie. Had a very good start and continued to build on that. So 1:13 1:12 for Olivia.
Yep, nice swim from the Warrender swimmer there. In fact, Warrender 1-2 there, 1:13.67 for Naomi. Leaves Shields in third for South Lanarkshire. So on to heat number 2. Entry times here 1:12.5 up to 1:13.1. They line up Amy Dobson of Kingston. 2 is Anna Lawson of East Lothian. 3, Orla Jeffrey of South Lanarkshire. Second East Lothian swimmer Alice Finlay in 4. Cumbernaulds Ava Pettigrew in 5. Elise Somele of Aberdeen Dolphin in 6. Grace Picken of Warrender in 7. Iris Blair of Finns in 8. Anna Lawson starting strongly in lane 2. And Amy Dobson beside her. So now both of them at the bottom of your screen, and then, well, pretty close, maybe lane 4, Alice Finlay. So the East Lothian swimmers very much in the frame here, but pretty much everybody's in the frame as they turn. Let's see, is Alice Finlay, in fact, by a tenth from her teammate. 34.76 is half a second faster than the previous heat. But, well, this is all about now just showing that grit and determination down this second length, and perhaps it's Ava Pettigrew in the yellow cap who's maybe just moving through now in lane 5, and she is looking like the favourite here. Just went steady in the first 50, turned it on, but still in lane 1, Amy Dobson. And so those are the two coming in together. Might be Amy. It is Amy who gets it, 1:11.37. So really strong there. Picked up the pace very nicely just in that last 15 metres to come through and take the win. Just wait for confirmation of that. Just take a little while to come up, but there it is. What makes you slightly nervous when there's a bit of a pause before the confirmed result comes up, but no problems that time. Amy, Ava and Grace, she won 2-3.
She's sneaking in from an outside lane there.
Again. We've had a few of them this afternoon.
We have indeed. So we now move on to heat 3. Lane 1, Isabella Shaw Best. Lane 2, Ellen Denny Geary. Lane 4, Gemma Coots, West Hill. Lane 4, Thea Glenn, City of Glasgow. Lane 5, Anna Harkness Best. Lane 6, Lauren Dunlop, Dumfries. Lane 7, Emily Dawson, Mulgine Bearsden. And Kavya Shetty of Ren 96 in lane 8. And a good start in lane 5. Evie Lamont, Thea Glenn of City of Glasgow. And lane 6. But it is lane 5, Evie Lamont. I think who will take this perhaps lanes 8 and 1 coming in. Lane 1, Isabella Shaw. It was at lane 1, Isabella, 34.98. So an outside lane again. Sometimes sneaks up on us. We don't necessarily always catch that, but the centre lane does appear to have control now.
Yep, Anna Harkness in lane 5, so border swimmers going well, but also lane 8. Kavya Shetty of Ren 96 not far away, and Gemma Coots for West Hill in lane 3. But I think it's going to be Anna in lane 5 is going to take this win. The border swimmer from Kelso takes the win, 1:11.78. Not quite as fast as the previous heat, but just sneaks inside her entry time, so she'll be happy about that. Gemma Coots second, Lucy Taylor third. So for once, not an outside lane taking that one. That was lane number 5 that got the win there. On to heat 4. Hannah Yao, University of Aberdeen Performance, will go in 1. Chloe Kirk of Mulgine Bearsden in 2. Ailey Jørgensen, West Hill in 3. Fern Gray from Sevenoaks in 4. Seen her just recently in the last event, didn't we? Evie Lamont of Glenroth is in 5. Ailey Fee of East Lothian in 6. Nora Levens of Glenalbin in 7. And Amy Jones from Forth Valley Tridents in lane 8. 1:11s, 1:11.0 to 1:11.7 again, all but one of these swimmers with a 0 on the end. So again, could well be short course conversions, which is allowed for entries into this meet. Great start in lane 7. That's Nora Levens, the 15-year-old from Glenalbyn. So he's really setting out, meaning like she means business.
She is indeed. And they're all playing catch up now. Excellent start. And she will turn in a time of 33.21. So Evie Lamont, the next swimmer, 34.91, but quite a bit to make up here. She does appear to have this well under control, and she has taken this from the start. Put down a marker, but not all over yet. We do see a bit of a move in lane 3 and 5, but I do think that Noor may just have done enough to hang on here. I don't think she is going to be caught, Duncan. She is not. 1:09.85, and that is the fastest time so far.
Yeah, I thought at halfway she might have a chance for a second swim. She needed to get into 1:07s, 1:08s, and just faded a bit in the latter stages there, so wasn't able to quite maintain the pace that she had, blistering pace at the beginning. But a very convincing victory, over 2.5 seconds ahead of Ailey and Evie. They're second and third there. So, well, if Noor can do that from heat 4, what can heats 5 and 6 do?
Let's see if we can get anyone vying for a place this evening.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? Not seen that yet this week.
So we move on to heat 5. Lane 1, Maya Loyne, University of Aberdeen Performance. Lane 2, Poppy Shaw, Best. Lane 3, Beth Craik, Aberdeen. Lane 4, Alicia Hodgson, Derwent Side and Gateshead. Lane 5, Katie Aitchison, Warrender. Lane 6, Lucy Kellis, Bells Hill. Lane 7, Rose McDermott, Mulgine, Bearsden. And Lane 8, Abby McMillan, City of Glasgow. So a good start from lane 5. Katie Aitchison, a 14-year-old, youngest in the field. So just ahead here, but I do think the others are now catching her. Lane 2, Poppy Shaw, and lane 4, I think, yeah, Katie Aitchison just maintaining that, 34.35. Lane 4, Alicia Hodgson, Lucy Kellis, lane 6. So Katie is going to have to dig deep here to stay ahead. They're coming at her. The Derwent Side and Gateshead swimmer, Alicia Hodgson, and I think they are pulling alongside her, and it's going to be a real race between these two. They are going stroke for stroke, I think, and who will drive for the wall first? Oh, this is going to be on the touch, and Katie just hangs on, maintaining that lead that she built up with that very good start in a time of 1:11.18. So Katie Aitchison, 1:11.18, just hanging on from Alicia Hodgson, 1:11.34, and Poppy Shaw, 1:11.63. All very close.
Yeah, Katie did well to hang on to that one, I think. One more heat to go in this 100 backstroke. And the line up, Maddie Barber, University of Stirling in 1, Megan Ferris, Commonwealth in 2, Maddie Halls, shown just in the water, she's back again in lane 3, Gemma Brown and Carnegie in 4, 2 from South Lanarkshire, Casey Dixon and Chloe Semple in 5 and 6, Rebecca Middleton of Glenalbyn in 7, and Melissa Turnbull for University of Stirling in 8. 109s, 110s in this one. So let's see what they can do. So we saw that 109.85 a couple of heats ago from Nora Levens. So can they match that? Going well up in lane 8, Melissa Turnbull, and lanes 1 and 2, Maddie Barber and Megan Ferris. So they're the three at the front as we come up to the halfway turn. Is it going to be lane 8 or is it going to be tight? It's the touch. Yes, Melissa in lane 8 does 32.78, and that is the fastest split we've seen. So let's see what she can do on the way back. 19-year-old from the University of Stirling. And she has got a fair lead now from her University of Stirling teammate Maddie Barber on the other side of the pool, who's just ahead of Megan Ferris in the yellow in lane 2 and Casey Dixon in lane 5. But this is Melissa Turnbull. She's well clear here. Let's keep an eye on the time here. Her entry time 1:10.15, certainly inside that. 1:08.35. That makes her second reserve. So that's the closest we've come to a second swim. You never know, she might get it, because if there are 2 withdrawals, then she's in. Melissa Turnbull, brilliant swim, well inside her entry time. That entry time was 1:10.15, so nearly 2 seconds knocked off that. Excellent stuff, and that is probably the best we've seen so far in the afternoon sessions over the 2 days of competition.
So let's see if we can see some more as the afternoon progresses. So we now move on to event 225, our male and open 200 metres breaststroke. We have 5 heats in this event. In this first heat, lane 1, Hamish Black, South Ayrshire. Lane 2, Felix Colic, Highland. Lane 3, Cameron Verth, South Tyneside. Lane 4, Cameron Medema, Warrender. Lane 5, Logan Reid Elgin. Lane 6, Adam Balanowski, Carnegie. Lane 7, Henry Liddell, Aquajets Newcastle. And in lane 8, Amir Hussein Ibrahim of University of Aberdeen Performance. So excellent start in lane 2 and lane 7. So lane 2, Felix Colic, the 16-year-old from Highland. And lane 7, we have Henry Liddell of Aquajets Newcastle. But it's Felix Colic who will turn first in a time of 35.78. Henry Liddell, 35.84, so just behind him. So very early stages of this 200 metres, but let's see how this progresses. And Henry over in lane 7, not letting Felix have it all his own way. He's trying hard and may in fact just be pushing ahead of Felix here. We will see when they touch. Does look like it to me. Yes, indeed, he has. So Henry Liddell, 1:18.41. So he is building as this race progresses. But we have in lane 4, Cameron Medema, a Warrender swimmer. He now making a play for the second place from Felix Colic. And I think he is going to just now push ahead of him as we come up to the 150 metres mark. So Henry Liddell still maintaining his early lead, 2:02.89. And Cameron Medina just touching ahead of Felix Colic. So these two fighting it out for second place. Henry is not going to be caught. But we also have a bit of a move in lane 1 from the South Ayrshire swimmer Hamish Black, trying hard to bring himself alongside Felix and Cameron. And I think Felix has just put on a bit of burst of speed and he takes this. So Henry 2:46.45, Felix 2:49.99, and Cameron 2:50.92.
Try and make it more conversational. You don't do the whole race. Yeah, so if you stop more often.
Okay.
So a convincing victory and a very nice swim from the youngster from Aquajets. So it was Northumberland and Durham County Championship, but he was the winner in that. Knocks 2.5 seconds off his time to come in at 2:49 as we go to heat number 2. So the line-up here, Logan Scally, University of Aberdeen in 1, Boyd Fernside of East Lothian in 2, 3 is Luke Watling-Smith from Western Bartonshire. 4, Luke Littler of Derwentside and Gateshead. 5, Solomon Macmillan at Aphrodota. Seen a good swim from him earlier on in 400 IM. Michael Gavin, University of Aberdeen in 5. Tom Robinson, Alnwick Dolphin, another one I think we've seen before. And Brian Fitzpatrick, Western Bartonshire in lane 8. 246s to 248. And a cracking start in lane 6 from University of Aberdeen swimmer Michael Gavin. So he's making the early move here in the white cap.
Just slightly ahead of the earlier heat, a second ahead, so he is indeed pushing ahead here. And we have behind him lanes 4 and 5. They are battling it out. We have in lane 4 Luke Littler and lane 5 Solomon Macmillan. So we've seen Solomon in the pool already. And it's Luke, Michael Gavin. He's forging ahead here. But we have Luke, the Derwentside and Gateshead swimmer. He is moving forward here, just putting a bit of a gap between him and the rest of the field.
So final turn then. Michael Gavin in complete control here, 158.04 with 50 to go. You can see there are 42, so another of those would get him in around the 240 mark. 246.4 is his entry time, so he's going to smash that, you would think. Lane 4, Solomon Macmillan looks comfortable for second place, and then Logan Scally, I think, ahead of lane 5, Solomon Macmillan. There's Luke Littler pushing on in second place, but under a little bit of pressure from Logan. But no doubt about the winner. Michael Gavin has been in charge of this one all the way through, right on the 241. So 241.16, 5 seconds, more than 5 seconds off his entry time. That was very well done. Luke Littler second, 245, and Logan Scally 247 in third. So very convincing win there.
It was indeed.
The Aberdeen swimmer, 241. Littler also inside his entry time, so he'll be happy about that as well.
Happy swimmers, that's what we like.
Yep.
Moving on to heat 3, we have lane 1, James Hume, Derwentside and Gateshead. Lane 2, Jack Higney, Cumbernauld. Lane 3, Marco Frasserin of Glenalbin. Lane 4, Max Clark, South Ayrshire. Lane 5, Jensen Basketer of City of Glasgow. Lane 6, Matthew Leesgang, Mingus Hill. Lane 7, Charlie Cairns, Heart of Midlothian. And lane 8, Brodie Jardine of Dumfries. So 4 14-year-olds in this event, in this heat, and times ranging in the 244, 245, so not much between them, so it'll be interesting to see. It is the Mingus Hill swimmer, Matthew Leesgang, who is putting down a marker here, 34.91, a second and a half ahead of the rest of the field. He is really laying down the gauntlet here for the others to chase him. And the Aberdeen performance swimmer, have I got that right? No, it's actually Heart of Midlothian swimmer to his right. Charlie Cairns, he's having another good swim, but it is Matthew Leesgang. He is motoring here.
Yeah, very similar split to what we saw from Michael Gavin in the previous heat, just a 1500ths or so behind that time. And again, we've got a pretty emphatic lead coming on. That seems to have been a trend in these last few, well, all the heats so far of this 200 breaststroke. That might change in the second half. Let's see whether anybody can make a move. Charlie Cairns having a go. This is his second solid swim. We saw him earlier, putting in a good lane, I think from an outside lane earlier on, lane 1, I think.
He did indeed.
Also going well is James Hume in lane 1 for Dermot's side, but well, still a pretty big lead for Matthew. 1:59.96. That was 44. So probably going to be there or thereabouts on his 2:45 entry time. He is being caught now, so maybe Matthew just tying up a little bit, and Charlie Cairns will sense that, and he's going to have a go now in this last half length. He is within a metre or so of Matthew as we come up to the 15-metre markers. Matthew just about hanging on to this lead, but this is going to be close because Charlie Cairns is smelling blood here, and he is pushing through. They are side by side now as they come in, and I think it is going to be the hot swimmer with a terrific finish taking the win. 2:44.34, and that was sensing your opportunity and then grabbing it with both hands. Second and a quarter inside his entry time. Just unable to hang on, Matthew Icegang, so he has to settle for second. Just waiting for confirmation of that result, so we won't call it just yet, because I think there is a bit of a consultation going on. And unfortunately we do have disqualification. That's James Hume from lane 1. He is disqualified, so it is Charlie Cairns from Matthew Icegang. 2:44.34, 2:45.07. So Matthew was inside his entry time, so he can't be too disappointed, but I think there will be some learnings from that swim.
Nice exciting race though at the...
Absolutely. But he did tie up a bit at the end, so I think there will be some discussions at the Mingus Hill camp about that one. But on to heat 4. Pam, what's the lineup?
We have lane 1, Luke Thompson, Bathgate. Lane 2, Ryan Crabb, round 96. Lane 3, Kieran Hayes, Aberdeen. Lane 4, Richie Saunders, Warrender. Lane 5, Finlay Byrne, Trident. Lane 6, Jamie McBain, Deveron. Lane 7, Magnus Kirkpatrick of Orkney. And in lane 8, Caleb Simpson of Montrose. So we have 241 to 243, no, 240 to 243. So this will be interesting to see how these swimmers do, whether we get PB personal best, whether we have exciting racing.
Certainly looks much tighter than the previous races. We've seen somebody clearly ahead at this stage in the race, but not this time. Got 5 lanes 1, 2, 6, 7 and 8. That's Luke, Ryan, Jamie, Magnus and Caleb. Not sure we've seen a Montrose swimmer in these championships so far this year, but Caleb Simpson in lane 8 is flying the flag for them. Just a little bit back on the leaders now, and it's going to be lane 7, I think. Magnus Kirkpatrick of Orkney, 1:16.02, leads by half a second from Jamie McBain. So these two in lanes 7 and 6 are the ones setting the pace now.
It's a different race from earlier, though. There is no one, well, you know, no one out in front like we had earlier, so it's all to play for with these swimmers. And we saw it all change in the latter stages of the last race. Will we see that again?
Your eye on Richie Saunders. He's making a bit of a move in lane 4. He's still around about 4th place, but he has moved up. But Magnus is the one to beat, and you can see that 41.4 is faster than anybody else. So it's hard to see past the Orcadian swimmer now. Magnus Kirkpatrick looking to finish the job down this final length. He's up by about 3-4 meters. I don't think anybody's going to be able to close that gap. Jamie McBain has had second throughout. Can he hold on to that? Luke Thompson. We did talk about Richie Saunders. He's in that mix for 3rd place. Maybe could challenge for 2nd, but no one is going to get close to Magnus. The question is, Can he improve on his 2:42.98 entry time? No, silly question, because of course he can. 2:38.51. That's a very nice improvement. So he's going to be happy with that. 4 seconds inside his entry time. It was Ryan Crabb. Did we talk about Ryan Crabb in the commentary? I don't think we did. But he got second from Jamie McBain by 0.2. Wait for confirmation of that, and there it is. Jamie 2:42.11 in third, just touching in ahead of Luke Thompson. 1 heat to go.
Heat 5, lane 1, Liam Warner, East Lothian. Lane 2, Ryan Potter. No swimmer in lane 2. Lane 3, Aidan Hayes, Aberdeen. Lane 4, Hamish Coates, Best. Lane 5, Finlay Brown, East Lothian. Lane 6, Levi Clark, Glenalbin. Lane 7, Matthew Jack, Renfrew Baths. And lane 8, Kieran Brown, City of Glasgow. So a good start in the centre lane. In lane 4, Hamish Coates, the best swimmer. But Aidan Hayes, Aberdeen, and Finlay Brown, East Lothian. They're pretty much stroke for stroke, these three. Maybe Finlay just edging ahead in lane 5. He is now starting just to move away. Will we get a response from the other two?
Not looking too lightly at the moment. Finlay, with a very strong second 50, has opened up a gap of about 3 metres. 1:14.64 at the halfway mark. You see there, it's under 40 for his second 50 against 41s for everybody else. Doing his best to try and get in that mix for second place is Matthew Jack in lane 7, but are they going to start coming back at him? I think maybe they are. Aidan Hayes is definitely closing now on Finlay. Did Finlay go out too early? Has he gone out too fast? Can he sustain it? He's still got the lead, but that lead has shrunk considerably.
He's certainly making a move here, is Aidan.
So let's see at the 150 mark, what's the gap going to be? It's not a lot. In fact, it's Aidan by 100th, 157.64. So he's got the momentum going into the final 50. Can Finlay respond? Well, I think he's giving it a go. He's not done yet. Third place looks like lane 7. Matthew Jack now ahead of Hamish Coates in lane 4, but I think Aidan Hayes has got the advantage over Finlay, but Finlay giving it everything to try and stay with him. Really pushed it in that second 50, maybe paying for that now. So who's going to get this one? I think the answer is Aidan, the 17-year-old from Aberdeen, and he does bring it in 2:38.70. So that is 9/10 inside his entry time. So see a good number of improvements on entry times here, which is nice to see. Finlay Brown 2:40.08, so very close to his entry time. He's second. Third, Matthew Jack 2:41.06. And that's your 1, 2, 3 there as we complete the male 200 breaststroke and go to the females.
We have 5 heats in this event. In our first heat, Grace Lumsden, Scotia, lane 1, lane 2, Nina Spirit Hawthorne of Inverclyde, lane 4, Celia Blair, East Lothian, lane 5, Gemma Coots, West Hill, lane 5, Ellie Brown, Fauldhouse, lane 6, Hetty Aiken, Derwentside and Gateshead, lane 7, Edith Middleton of Glenalbin, and lane 8, Amy Weatherburn of Heart of Midlothian. So a good showing from the Glenalbin and Derwentside and Gateshead swimmers this afternoon.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Derwentsside and Gateshead in particular up in Scottish events. We haven't seen Glenalbyn before, so it's great to have them over from the Dublin area to join us this weekend. I hope they're enjoying their experience. Hetty Aiken is our leader, and that is one of the Derwentsside and Gateshead crew. 39.48 for her first 50. Hetty taking this one out. She is
13, Hetty.
yeah. So one of the youngsters. We've got a 12-year-old as well, Celia Blair, in the black cap in lane 3. She's not too far away from the action, but maybe just pushing on now is Gemma Coots, the elder swimmer, 17-year-old from West Hill. In fact, it's not Gemma, it's Ellie Brown in lane 5. Just correct that. And is she going to have the lead? It's all pretty close. So Celia Blair is right up. She's had a good second 50. In fact, she was the fastest in the water on that second 50. Just 2/10 behind Ellie Brown's 1:26.
So it's the youngsters showing how it's done here. The 14-year-old Ellie of Fauldhouse.
Yeah, and 12-year-old Celia from East Lothian. Lane 1, though, another 14-year-old, Grace Lumsden. So there's in the mix. And Ailey Middleton, well, comparatively old swimmer, 16-year-old. Well, almost over the hill at 16. Compared with some of these swimmers anyway. She'll be at her pushing on well, but it's the Fauldhouse swimmer. As we see a nice close-up of her going through the 150. 2:12.32, but only 500s up on Grace Lumsden in lane 1.
So all to play for here and into the closing stages of this race, and I think it is Grace who is having a storming last length, and I think she's just pulling ahead of the rest of the field. So Grace Lumsden, the 14-year-old from Scotia, another outside lane. But it's hard to call. We will think possibly it is just Grace. But we also have a bit of a move over in lane 7. It's Grace indeed, 2:57.51. And that is a 5-second personal best for Grace. So good swim for Grace.
Yeah, a lot of good PBs in that one. So 3 swimmers getting under the 3 minutes, and all of them came in with over 3-minute time. Celia Blair very nearly did it as well. So she was also an improvement on her entry time. So some great swims there in that first heat. Here's the lineup for heat 2. Trudy Patrick and Charlotte Hewitt go for Warrender in lanes 1 and 2. Then we have in lane 3 Megan Ferris of Cumbernauld, Ronnie Kariuki of East Lothian in 4, Charlie Adams of Highland in 5, third Warrender swimmer Isla Stewart in 6, 7 is Georgia Adamson of Carnegie in 8, Ruby Birch of Hoylake in lane 8. So the entry times here all pretty much on the 3-minute mark, 3 minutes dead to 3 minutes .3. And it's Ronnie Kariuki in lane 4 who's setting the early pace. East Lothian swimmer, National Age Group finalist. And she'll be, I think, sure, wanting to go under the 3 minutes. As all these swimmers, I would think they'll all have that as a target. 39.43 is very similar split to the first heat, just 500s faster. Ronnie, the only one to go under 40 seconds there. The other's pretty close, though. Megan Ferris, we'll be talking about her a fair bit over the last 2 days. The Commonwealth swimmer is right up there in lane 3 in that distinctive yellow cap. And also in lane 7 is Georgia Adamson of Carnegie. She's not far away. So that's your leaders as we come up to halfway.
Very close here at the front from the East Lothian swimmer, Ronnie, did you call her? Ronnie? In lane 4, and Megan Ferris, Cumbernauld, so in lane 3. Very tight between these two. hard to call here.
Yeah, Megan looks slightly stronger on the turn there, but Ronnie coming right back at her in the swim. So that's interesting to see if that happens again. Then we've got a good tussle going on in lane 6 and 7. Either Stewart and Georgia Adamson, but I think they're just dropping a little bit back from the front two as they come up to the 150. Well, let's just watch these turns here between the two of them, see whether Megan can get an advantage in the turn. They're going to turn together pretty much. Megan just ahead. As soon as they come out, definite advantage there for Megan in that turn. So that's something for Ronnie to work on.
Seeing a real move over in lane 7, pulling ahead. So Georgia Adamson, Carnegie swimmer in lane 7, ahead of Isla Stewart, the Warrender swimmer in lane 6. But I think it's Erin has just pushed ahead of, so Megan, sorry, has just pulled ahead of Veronica here, Ronnie. And that advantage that she built up on that turn, I think she's just capitalised on that, and she is going to push for the wall, and it is Megan who has come out on top on that battle that was very close, and just an advantage on that last turn, and she built on that. So Megan 2:55.01, so that is a 5-second drop on her time. She will be very happy with that. And also a drop for Ronnie, a 4-second drop for her.
Yeah, 4 swimmers getting under the 3 minutes there, so I'm sure that will have been their targets for them, so well done to all 4 of them. But particularly Megan, that was a super swim, 2:55.01, showing some great technical skills there through the turns in particular. On to heat 3. Iona Connolly for Midlothian in lane 1, Lillian Blair of Finns in 2. Nadia Dogan of Aquajets in 3, Caitlin Peebles of East Lothian in 4, Ruby McInnes of South Ayrshire in 5, Carly Marshall in 6, second East Lothian swimmer Charlotte Shanks of Bellshill in 7, Sylvie McNichol of Glenrothes in lane 8. So early on, it looks like it's the 2 centre lanes, just about, well, oh, very close though. Caitlin in 4, Ruby in 5. Also up there, maybe just ahead of them, is Nadia in lane 3 and lane 6 as well. Carly Marshall in the mix. So all of these swimmers pretty close at the first turn. Let's see who gets the touch. Carly does, 40.92. So not as fast as the previous heat, about a second and a half back on that very fast start from Ronnie and Megan.
Got lane 3 Nadia here making a play. She, I think, she's certainly working very hard, isn't she, here to catch Carly. These two do appear to be just pushing ahead of the rest of the field. But 200 breaststroke, it can all change.
Yep, at halfway, they're together.
And it is
just 100th apart. Ruby just getting the touch, 126.87. Still about a second and a half back on the previous heat. Seeing 45 splits there. So how's this going to work out in the second half? Maybe Nadia looking slightly the stronger, the 15-year-old from Aquajets of Newcastle. But still 50 close. Lane 6 is Carly Marshall. She led at the 50, but now into 3rd place. And a Sylvia Medical 13-year-old from Glenrothes. 2 13-year-olds, both Fifers, Finns and Glenrothes. Finns based in Kirkcaldy. But it is the Aquajet swimmer at the front, 2:13.48. So she'll be looking to bring it in. She'll have to really push it hard for her to get under 3 minutes. Entry time 2:59 dead, so really need a strong 50 to match that. Up by a metre or so, so it looks like she'll take the heat. Let's see whether she can maintain that lead over Ruby McInnes. I think she is. Coming up on Ruby in lane 6 is Carly Marshall. She had that fast opening 50 and finishing pretty fast in the back end as well. But no one's catching Nadia. She gets the win. Oh, what a swim that was, a 44 to finish on. So terrific stuff there, 2:58.22. That was me thinking she might struggle to get under 3 minutes, and she ended up with about a 3/4 of a second best time. So very well done, Nadia. And that back end, very, very strong indeed. Again, just waiting for that result to be confirmed. It's just that little pause makes you twitchy, but is it coming? Is it coming? Is it? Oh dear, Charlotte Shanks, unfortunately, lane 7, disqualification, technical infringement. But it's Nadia Dogan, Ruby McInnes, and Carly Marshall, your 1, 2, 3.
So we now move on to heat 4, and in lane 1, Pippa Brotherton of South Tyneside, lane 2, Ailsa Shand, South Lanarkshire, lane 3, Ellen White, Stirling Swim, lane 4, Erin Faulkner, Bells Hill, lane 5, Sarah Dow Deveron, lane 6, Katie Lowe Carnegie, lane 7, Grace Blair, Forth Valley Tridents, and lane 8, Sienna Carter, West Hills. So Pippa, who had a fantastic swim, our 11-year-old earlier in lane 1. So we'll see what she can do here.
Yes, that was the 200 IM, and she really cracked it on from the outside lane, and she's in the outside lane again here. And it was the breaststroke in that 200 IM where she showed her class. So let's see.
So lane 6, I think it is. Oh, Erin Faulkner, lane 4, who is going to take that at the 50 mark. The 19-year-old Bells Hill swimmer, lane 7. Sorry, lane 6. Katie Lowe, Carnegie, also in the mix. Still Pippa out in lane 1. She is certainly up there, but it looks like it's those 3 at the moment. But Pippa does look to be working hard out in that outside lane, and as you say, that breaststroke leg made all the difference in that 200 IM, so she's clearly a strong breaststroke swimmer. But it is the early leader, Erin Faulkner, 1:24.20, who is just maintaining that. She's splitting a 44.74, everyone else just behind her. But it can all change in the second part of a 200 breaststroke. But it does look like that she's just doing enough to stay ahead, Duncan.
Yep, so it is, I think, going to be a contest between these two. Erin from Bells Hill against the youngster Pippa from South Tyneside. Can Erin Faulkner hold off the challenger? So far she is. Let's see what their relative pacing is. 46.7 and 46.3, so the gap is half a second, and there was about 4/10 that Pippa was faster, and she got a nice turn there as well. So again, turns perhaps the difference, and Pippa looks very determined here in lane 1. Has she gone ahead? I think she might have done. Getting a very nice close up as she went past our camera there, and as you get the broader view, it does look like she's got the advantage now. So really taking it at the right time, also going well. There's a good battle of 7 and 8 for third, but Pippa Brotherton 2:56.33, another excellent swim, inside range time by about 1.6. So is there anything, particularly on breaststroke, that youngster from South Tyneside can't do?
Certainly doesn't look like it so far.
No, Erin Faulkner second, Grace Blair getting that race for third place from Sienna Carter.
So 2 under the minute, 3 minutes there. That'll be again a real aim for those swimmers. So we now move on to our final heat. Lane 1, Lizzie White, Edinburgh University. Lane 2, Rebecca Strachan, City of Glasgow. Lane 3, Josie Grimes, Warrender. Lane 4, Anna Jackson, Kinross. Lane 5, Eva Smith, Geary. Lane 6, Ada Broden, Ren 96. Lane 7, Rosie Strutchfield, Warrender. And Lane 8, Emma Chambers of Cumbernauld.
That was Rosie Stutchfield, wasn't it, that got that reserve swim and then proceeded to do very well with it, winning the heat. So now she's in by right in lane 2. That's not correct. She's in lane 7, I should say.
She is in lane 6.
I don't know where I got lane 2 from.
Lane 6, Ada Broden having a good start. And I think she may just touch Josie Grimes. It is indeed Ada Broden, 39.03. Josie Grimes, 39.04. So 100th between those two. Be interesting to see how this progresses. But it does just look like the Warrender swimmer Josie Grimes has just got a slight advantage here and is pulling slightly ahead. Certainly looks like that from here. But it's, and we see a move also from the swimmer from Geary, Eva Smith, in lane 5. But it is Josie Grimes, 1:22.70, so that is faster than the previous heat.
Yeah, faster than all the heats we've seen so far, so looking very good, Josie here. And she is well clear, really, of a four-way contest for second, which involves Lizzie Wyke in 1, Eva Smith in 5, Ada Broden in 6, and Emma Chambers in 8. But is anybody going to get close to Josie Grimes? Doesn't look likely. We'll get a sense of her lead here at the 150, but she goes through in 2:07.47, a 44.7 split there, and everybody else 45s and 46s. So it's looking very nice for Josie to take this one. The race is about who's going to get second. That could go, well, probably now between lanes 6 and 8, I think. An outside chance for Smith in 5. We know she can finish strongly. We've seen that before today, and she is coming up hard. But Josie Grimes, let's just focus on her with 10 metres to go. Her entry time is 2:54.70. You see the clock is going to be stopping well in front of that, 2:51.63. So a very nice time for Josie to finish off our breaststroke. So that is 3 seconds inside her entry time. Eva Smith, well, I said she could finish strong, and she didn't let me down there. A 44.9 there to get past Ada and Emma to grab second place. And Ada Broden in third by a 10th from Emma Chambers. So a good, strong breaststroke there to finish off with that. We move to freestyle.
So we have event 227, our Milan Open 200 metres freestyle. We have 6 heats in this event. In this first heat, Struan Payton, University of Aberdeen Performance. Lane 2, Daniel Coombe, Perth City. Lane 3, Oliver Jones, Inverclyde. Lane 4, Dara Oldham, Heart of Midlothian. Another Heart swimmer in lane 5, Keir Stormont. A Warrender swimmer, lane 6, Alexander McNiven. So we have a Edinburgh battle in those 3 lanes. Then Cooper Sloss of Ring 96 in lane 7, and Samuel Ruff, lane 8, City of Glasgow. So what do we have here? Lane 7, he's gone out. Cooper Sloss, Ren 96, 28. 94. So he's just ahead, but they're coming at him. They're not going to let him have it all his own way. I don't think we have lane 7. Cooper Slaw says no, he is Alexander McNiven, lane 6. You could see that developing. They were not going to let him get away, so 1:01.12. Alexander McNiven, Dara Oldham just behind him. So all changed now, but we have lane 6, Alexander McNiven.
Yeah, coming up in between these two.
Yeah.
In lane 5 is Keir Stallman, so very much an Edinburgh contest going on here. 2 from Hearts, 1 from Warrender. Who's going to get the touch? Dara Oldham now has moved into the lead, and it's his teammate now, Keir Stallman, who is right beside him, so it looks like it's going to be a Hearts 1-2 now. They're showing Warrender how it's done, and it's Keir Stallman perhaps, but it's going to go all the way, I think, between these two. So it's the 17-year-old Keir against the 16-year-old Dara, who gets the touch. Ooh,
that was close.
400s in it, but Keir gets the bragging rights in the Hearts camp. 2:05.49. Both of them well inside their entry times by a couple of seconds, so they'll be happy about that. Dara just behind him, and Alexander McNiven third, 2:08.10. Keir Stallman can hold his head high as he leaves the pool.
Moving on to Heat 2, Lane 1, Hayden Sterling St Thomas, Lane 2, Lewis Nelson South Lanarkshire, Lane 3, Lewis Hopkins University of Aberdeen Performance, Lane 4, Rory Young City of Glasgow, Lane 5, Daniel Boyne Heart of Midlothian, Lane 6, Stuart Thompson Perth City, Lane 7, James Hume Derwent and Gateshead, and Lane 8, Ali Hattab of Dumfries. No swimmer in Lane 5. So we have fast start from lane 7. No, lane 6, Stuart Thompson, I think so. It is indeed 25:48 for the Perth City swimmer.
We saw him earlier with a big PB, didn't we?
We
what
did.
Was that in? I remember. Was it?
It was in the backstroke, I think. So we'll be trying to keep Anne Dixon happy again.
Yeah, looking very good here. Halfway mark, he's got an impressive lead, around 2-3 meters, just over the minute. 1:00.07, a second faster than the first heat, and 7/10 faster than Hayden Sterling in lane 1.
So Midlands battle.
Yep, St Thomas, based in Arbroath, and Perth City. That's very much the Perth City swimmer. Trying to spoil that Midlands party is Lewis Nelson of South Lanarkshire in lane 2. Others as well now pretty close to Hayden, but nobody's particularly close to Stewart. It's 1:32.60, 1.8 of a lead going into the final 50, and a 32.5 there for him. Pushing on, Hayden Sterling is holding on to second place. He's going to have a battle to keep that one, I think. Stewart, well, he's well clear. His entry time 2:06.27, and I think he is going to take another nice improvement from that time, 2:03.97. So very well done, Stewart. What a afternoon he's having, knocking spots off his entry times. Lewis Hopkins it was who came through to grab second, ahead of Hayden Sterling by 700ths. There's your lineup. Well, no, it's not. There's your lineup for Heat 3. Ketsiakai. Apologies to Hatfield contingency if we're saying that wrong. Let us know. Kyle Harper of South Ayrshire in 2. Gregor Ross, City of Glasgow in 3. Oliver Hodzik of University of Aberdeen in 4. Caelan Johnson of Lerwick in 5. Oliver Fennick of Hatfield in 6. Hamish Maxwell of South Ayrshire in 7. And Iskau of Geary in lane 8. Entry times here 2:04.6 up to 2:05.6. So again, it should be pretty close. Nice start in lane 4 in the white cap, the Lerwick swimmer. Oh, no, it's not. It's Oliver Hodzic, University of Aberdeen, I should say. And he is going to lead them through the 50. Time of 28.09, about 4/10 faster than the previous heat. So good start from Ollie. Also going well in lane 1 is Ketz. So he is in the mix. Lane 3 just behind him, Gregor Ross, and lane 8 not too far away in Isgal of Geary, but it is the University of Aberdeen swimmer Oliver Hodzic who is in charge at the moment.
He most certainly is. And time at 59.53, so still faster than the previous heat. But lane 1, Ketz he is moving through, and he is trying to challenge for Oliver's lead. Is he going to be able to do it? Very distinctive pink hat in the outside lane. He's certainly having a go, and so much closer now. Look at his time. He splitting at 32.79, Ketz in lane 1. So he is going to be having a go here. But is Oliver going to just do enough to hang on? And in lane 3, Gregor Ross making a move. He's also having a storming last 50. But I think Oliver has done enough just to hang on. He has 2:05.09. Ketz 2:06.54 and Gregor Ross 2:07.16. But Gregor Ross and Oliver Hodzic, not much to choose between them on their splits on that last 50. So Oliver.
Right, you go, Pam. Let's sort this out.
Oliver Hodzic 2:05.09. Oh, gone.
So we rapidly move on to heat 4 before we all lose our minds, and it is Jasper Broom in lane 1 for South Ayrshire, Robert Christian of Aquajets in 2, 3 is Lachlan Bremner of Highland, 4 Panos Angelakis of East Lothian, 5 is Finlay Saunders of Hearts, 6 Blake Herdman of Inverclyde, 7 Rory Vick of Warrender, and 8 Cameron O'Donnell from South Lanarkshire. Entry times here 2:03s and 2:04s. And it's lane 5, Finlay Saunders of Hearts. Spends more time on the side of the pool coaching than he does in the pool, but he's shown what he can do in the pool this weekend so far, and he's leading at the 50, 27.36. I'd speak to him yesterday. He said he wasn't looking forward to this 200 freestyle. He said he'd give it a go, and that's what he's doing. He's going out pretty strong here from lanes 2, 3 and 4. Robert Christian, Lachlan Bremner, Panos Angelakis. They are all well on the toes of Finlay, and he is taking them through halfway, and 57.56 is quite a bit faster than we've seen, so just pacing on there, just over the 30 points. So well, can he get under the 2 minutes? That would be impressive if he can. But can he hold it together in the second half? Will they come back at him?
They're certainly giving it a go, but it does seem to, so despite him not looking forward to this, he's doing well here.
Yeah, I think he is struggling a bit now. They are definitely coming back at him. He was a 30 point on his second 50, a 32 point on his third, so now it's about hanging in there. Don't let them come at you. Another 32 point would still be an excellent time if he can hold that. Entered on 2:03, and he does seem to have found a second wind here and is going to bring this one in. So he's showing his Hearts colleagues that he's not just knowing about how to coach, he knows how to swim it as well, and he holds on to take the win from Robert Christian. Another 32 point to bring him in inside his entry time. Well done, Finlay. 2:02.75. Robert Christian very fast back on the back end there, but has to settle for second. 2:03 2-2, but that's over half a second inside his entry time. 2:04.05 for Panos in third.
On to heat 5. Lane 1, James Aberdeen, University of Aberdeen Performance. Lane 2, Lewis Maxwell Paul, Warner Baths. Lane 3, Alexander Brown, Alnwick Dolphins. Lane 4, Patrick Walsh, University of Stirling. Lane 5, Connor Stewart, Stirling Swim. Lane 6, Taylor Sinclair Elgin. Lane 7, Conan Swinney, Derwent Side and Gateshead. And lane 8, Jorrell Patrick Rays of Glenalbyn. And a fast start over in lane 7 from Conan Swinney. He just pips Patrick Walsh in lane 4, 27.56, 27.92, and just behind them Sandy Brown in lane 3. So those three putting down the gauntlet here, but Sandy Brown looks to be moving well in lane 3.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to have the lead at halfway. Lewis Maxwell Paul's making good progress in lane 2 as well. He's moved up into second place, 58.53, 58.89. Not as fast as Finlay in the previous heat, but of course he struggled a bit in the second half, so perhaps expect these swimmers to end up faster. Lewis Maxwell Pauls is definitely the main challenger now to Sandy Brown. Sandy is a Scot from Alnwick, member of the Youth Academy, and he is holding that lead from Lewis as we come up to the 150 turn. Nice and easy sort of stroke, but deceptively powerful, 129.86. But it's going to be a head-to-head battle, I think, between these two, unless Patrick Walsh can pull something out of the fire on this last 50. But Sandy Brown looks to have found another gear here, and he's suddenly up, but Lewis responding. It looked like Sandy was going to move away, but Patrick reacts to that, and it's pretty tight now as they come in, but Sandy just holds on to take it. Ooh, only by 100th. It looked like it was a bit more than that, but no, a great finish from Lewis. Nearly nicked it. 2:00.93 and 2:00.94. So can't get closer than that. It's official, apart from a tie. Connor Stewart was third, just ahead of Patrick Walsh, so he had a good finish as well. So Sandy and Lewis both nicely inside their entry times. One more heat to go.
Heat 6, lane 1, Mano Drysdale, Warrender. Lane 2, Fergus Woodward, Portobello. Lane 3, Aidan Anderson, University of Aberdeen Performance. Lane 4, Alex Holmes, Glenrothes. Lane 5, James Louderhart of Midlothian. Lane 6, Ian Middleton, Glenalbyn. Lane 7, Matthew Holland, Wolverhampton. And lane 8, Jed Armitage, Highland. So good start over on this side of the pool. Matthew Holland in, Fergus Woodward in lane 2. Portobello swimmer. Don't think I've heard of a Portobello swimmer this weekend. But we have Fergus Woodward 27.68, James Lauder 27.74, so not much between these at all.
You always want a Portobello swimmer in the pool, and I'll tell you the reason why. It's because Portobello's coach Andy May is a master at producing tablet, and he comes around with the tablet and he always comes to the commentary team, so very much thanks to Andy May for that. Your swimmer is in second place at the moment, 57.82 for our leader. In lane 1, Mano Drysdale with Fergus in second, and in 5, James Lauder, another older swimmer from Hearts.
So the Hearts oldies showing the youngsters how it's done.
Yep, James was down at British Masters 2 weeks ago in London. He swam well there, and he's swimming well again here on home territory.
But it's Mano Drysdale, I think, in lane 1, who just may hold this, but the Hart swimmer working very hard to make sure he does not have it all his own way. But has Mano just done enough to hold on? No, he has not. The Hart swimmer showing him how it's done. Well done, James Lauder.
Under 2 minutes as well. We'll be happy about that. Entered 2:00:30. So that's a nice little marker there. Mano Drysdale has to settle for second, and Fergus Woodward in third. So
does that mean we get more tablet?
I think it's one and done with the tablet. Otherwise, it would not be good for you. So on to 400 freestyle now for the females. We have 4 heats here. Line up for the first of them. Marlin swimmer Mary Eve Allain goes in 1. Katie Cooper of Warrender in 2. Alanya Brown of Hearts in 3. Iona Connolly of Midlothian in 4. Katie Gillies of Renfrew Bass in 5. Kelsey James of Best in 6. Amy Wanless from Forth Valley Tridents in 7. And Edith Middleton of Glenalbyn in 8. So this time we've got 8 lengths of the pool. 4:57 to 4:58 the entry times here. Just looking at, I think we have the reserve. Have we coming in lane 4? I don't know. I don't recognise that cap there. Iona Connolly. No, it is the Midlothian swimmer. Iona Connolly, my apologies. Lane 3, though, leads the way early on. Hart swimmer Alanya Brown. So Hart's on a bit of a roll at the moment. Alanya taking inspiration from the boys.
Alanya at the other end of the spectrum, a 15-year-old's Hart swimmer. And Alanya turning in a time of 1:07.97. And the Marlin swimmer in lane 1, Mary Eve Allain, but having a battle with Katie Cooper, lane 2 of Warrender, the two of them pretty much stroke for stroke as we go down this 150. But it is Alanya who is pushing ahead here, 36.74, just splitting faster than the rest of the field. But the 3 swimmers behind her, that will be interesting to see. They've just broken themselves away from the rest of the field, how that develops as this race goes on, as we just come up to the halfway point.
Yes, Alanya looking pretty solid here. I'll just check on her split on this one. Is she still faster than the field? I think she probably is. 2:22.06 with the 37.3 there, so consistent pacing, and you can see everyone else in 38 territory. Katie Gillies, in fact, 38.0 was the next fastest on that last 50. She's over in lane 5. It's in that 3-way contest for second, which is just, I think, being edged by Katie Cooper at the moment, but not by much. So that is the sub-context here as we admire Alanya Brown at the front of the field. So can she hold this pace? Let's see what her time is here. Yep, again under 38, but only just 37.99. Others still in the mid to high 38s. Mary Eve maybe just struggling to stay with the other two now. She was into that 40 point there. So perhaps just feeling it at the 250 mark.
Yeah, I think those two have pulled away from Mary Eve in lane 1. So Alanya, though, very much in control here. She comes up to the 300. Just dropping slightly, 38.12, so just off. She was holding a 37 pace.
Still, though, what, 7/10
consistent.
faster than anybody else. So that lead continuing to build, and it's not going to. She's not going to be rocked from that now. So if she did about, say, a 1:17 or something like that, we'd be talking about 4:55. Her entry time 4:57. So if she can get a little bit of a sprint on, she might get a bit more of a PB than that. But I'm backing her for maybe a 3-4 second PB here. Let's see. Back into the 37s. That's encouraging. Still the race on for second. Katie versus Katie. Who's going to win? My prediction is it'll be a Katie will get second. I really put it out there.
I think it's the Warrender Katie. It just has Katie Cooper. But we do have Alanya, her convincing lead, and a 4:52.65. So that is a 4.5 second PB for Alanya. So she will be delighted with that swim. And it's Katie Cooper, the Warrender Katie, that takes that in 4:59.28, which is under the 5-minute mark. And Katie Gillis, 5:67.
So that's heat 1 confirmed. Alanya there with that very nice swim, 4:52. Taking the heat and on to heat number 2. And in heat 2 we have Ruby McInnes for South Ayrshire in 1, Emma Patterson, City of Glasgow in 2, Ella Craig of Ren 96 in 3, Maisie Adair of Glenrothes in 4, Abby McMillan, City of Glasgow in 5, Naomi Cochrane, Warren de Boss in 6, Gaia Pete of Glenalbin in 7, and Ayla Wilson of Perth City in lane 8. 4:54 to 4:56 the entry times, around about a 2-second spread. Nice start from Naomi Cochrane in lane 6. She just came out the dive with a slight lead, but all the other swimmers pretty close as we come up to the first turn. Lane 7, perhaps Gaia Pete pushing on. Is she going to turn first? I think she is. Yep, 31.83. Up by 6-7 tenths from Naomi Cochrane, Ada Wilson third. So all the action now over in the far side, top of your screen.
The red caps over the far side, the blue caps over this side, with a smattering of black and blue in the centre lane. But it's lane 7, Gaia Pete, Glenalbin, who is moving ahead of the others at the other side of the pool. She turns in a time of 1:07.34, so marginally quicker than Alana's time. City of Glasgow swimmer in lane 2, Emma Patterson, bringing herself up alongside Ayla Wilson in lane 8. But it's still Gaia at the head of the field. Naomi Cochrane going with her though. Gaia splitting 36.74, Naomi 37.11. So just similar splits there, and we'll just watch how that develops as this race progresses. So it is Gaia and Naomi, and the Glasgow swimmer Emma Patterson in lane 2, and she has now just pulled herself ahead of Ayla Wilson, who was sitting with the other red caps over the far side in lane 8. It's still Gaia, 2:21.81. Naomi trying to go with her though.
Yeah, she's closing. She's definitely closing here. She was 6 tenths faster in that last 50, and you can see down this one she is closing, but also coming up. Well, we've got Emma Patterson we've talked about, but Ella Craig is moving up on her in lane 3. Can either of those two challenge our two front runners here? They're pretty much together now at the 250 turn. Gaia still holds the lead. She was a tenth slower than Naomi in that one, so the gap is down to 36 hundredths now. But, well, there's still a chance that lanes 2 and 3 could mount a challenge. They've got a fair way to make up, though, if they are to catch Naomi and Gaia. I think maybe Naomi has moved into the lead here. We'll just check as they come up to the 300. It's still very close between the two of them. But I think it is going to be Naomi just turning first. Warrender swimmer in her home pool, up by 1/4 of a second with 100 to go.
But Ella Craig has now brought herself into third position ahead of Emma Patterson. It was Emma holding that spot, but Ella Craig, the 13-year-old from Ren 96, she has now taken control into third place. Will she have enough to challenge our front runners?
It'll be interesting to see the splits here. Yep, 36.9. So Gaia back into the lead. 36.5 for Ella. But I think she's probably a little bit too far back. But, well, you thought maybe Gaia was done, but no, not a bit of it. She found some extra pace to push ahead of Naomi, and she's not going to be caught now. Very powerful down the stretch here for Gaia Pete. So is her entry time 4:55.90. She'll be well inside that. So a very nice swim. She comes in 4:51. Well, we didn't get a time up for Gaia. It's going to be 4:50 something, I think. So that will need to be sorted out. 4:51.79 for Naomi. Ella Craig 4:53.56. She's inside her entry time as well. So Gaia Pete will just wait for her time to come up. Clearly the winner. And we'll see, I think, how that works out. So it might just take a moment to get that one resolved. And they go to backup times. And there we go, 4:50.82. So confirming Gaia there with the lead. The win, rather. 5 seconds inside her entry time. So very nicely done.
So we're moving now on to Heat 3. Lane 1, Esme Waller, Highland. Lane 2, Casey Crisp, South Lanarkshire. Lane 3, Poppy Shaw Best. Lane 4, Esme Anderson, University of Aberdeen Performance. Lane 5, Kelly McIntosh, Silver City. Lane 6, Amy Horsburgh, Glenrothes. Lane 7, Hannah Lindsay, South Lanarkshire. And lane 8, Lucy Kellis, Bells Hill. So I think just possibly the early leader, lane 3, lane 4 here, maybe lane 4. Esme Anderson, University of Aberdeen Performance, and a 31.89. So she's just a slight lead ahead of the rest of the field, but they're all staying very much with her, not letting her get too far away. So it's Esme in lane 4, and then we have lane 3, Poppy Shaw, lane 5, Kelly McIntosh. Not much between them, but Esme Anderson 1:07.47, so not dissimilar to Gaia's time previously, 1:07.34 in the previous heat. So
yep, so pretty good start from Esme in lane 4 from Poppy Shaw and 36-year-old Kelly McIntosh. Silver City, there's a Masters Club up in Aberdeen. And lovely to see her swimming in this one. Again, another one who swam down in London at British Masters. We swam very well there in her relative age group. They swim in 5-year age group gaps, so Kelly in that one was in the 35 to 39 age group, which is a very competitive age group in Masters swimming. And she's in a good old tussle for second place here, along with Poppy and Amy Horsburgh. So add up their ages, Poppy 17 and Amy 14. Still 5 years light of Kelly's time of age, but hey, what's age? It's a number. 3 meters or so the advantage for Esme, and she's the youngest, well, equal youngest, 13-year-old. Casey Crisp, also a 13-year-old, so she goes through 2:21.98. Again, pretty much identical split to Gaia Pete in the previous heat. And, well, it's all in a line behind her. I think maybe Kelly is now just in second place, but very, very tight, that group of 5. So Esme Waller, Casey Crisp, Poppy Shaw, Kelly McIntosh, Amy Horsburgh, all there. Let's just check on their time. So 38.1 for Esme there, 38.2 for Kelly, and then 37s for Esme and Casey. So 38.1 for Amy Horsburgh. So yeah, it might be worth just keeping your eye on Esme Waller in lane 1 in that, I was going to say lurid blue cap. Highland swimmer, certainly a fairly striking blue. So she's not that far behind Kelly. Also Amy Horsburgh, but none of them making any impact on Esme Anderson's lead. So with 100 to go, she is up by about 2.3 and be looking to hold or build on that in this final 100. Moving into second now, Esme Waller. So suddenly she is pushing on now. So she's not out of this. Behind her, Casey Crisp. So the second 13-year-old is not far back either. Let's just check on the gap now with 50 to go. There goes Esme, 37.6. But Esme Waller, 36.1, and she's only 9/10 back now. So this is going to be close. Casey Crisp also under 37. So suddenly, having Esme having led all the way through, she's going to have to pick it up. Looks like she is picking it up in lane 4. Must be aware she's looking in Esme Waller's direction as she breathes. So she'll know what she has to do here, and she's getting it done. It looks like Esme, maybe a little bit of a fright on that penultimate 50, but that spurred her to pick up her time and finishing on a 35.5 there. So that was quite a bit faster than she had been going, and she takes the win in 4:51.57. So very close to her entry time. Esme Waller, that was a nice swim, and she's inside her entry time, 4:52. And third place, just wait for confirmation. Expecting it to be Casey Crisp. A bit of a pause here before the results coming up, so nervy.
Never like that.
No. Well, sometimes it's just on sorting out a time, so no need to panic. 400 free. Not too many reasons to get DQ'd. But it is taking a while, but here we go. And they are clean. So Esme Anderson, 4:51.57, takes it by 7/10. It was Casey Crisp third.
So we now move on to our final heat of the female 400 meters freestyle. In lane 1, Lauren Dunlop, Dumfries. Lane 2, Ava Joyce, South Tyneside. Lane 3, Rebecca Reid, Warrender. Lane 4, Sadie Faulkner, Moni Feith. Lane 5, Eleanor Sanderson, Perth City. Lane 6, Daisy Gilday, South Lanarkshire. Lane 7, her teammate Jenny Maguire, South Lanarkshire. So will we have a battle on in lanes 6 and 7, and lane 8, Sky Petrie of Moni Feith. So we do have also a Midlands battle in lanes 4, 5 and 8. 3 Midlands swimmers.
Okay, with your local knowledge then, Pam, of what goes on in the Midlands, where's your money here?
Where's my money here? Well, Sky Petrie's been swimming well. Has swum very well this weekend, so I wouldn't bet against Sky, but Elena will have the bit between her teeth, but in the early part of this and the Midlands battle, I think is Sky just slightly ahead of Elena, but that would be my view early doors, but we shall see.
Daisy Gilday maybe going to spoil the party.
She is an open water swimmer, Daisy Gilday, I think, isn't she? So she may indeed.
So Daisy does have the lead going through the 100, 106.27. Head now of lane 3, Rebecca Reid. So that's, well, maybe Sky, in fact, in second place over in lane 8. Rebecca Reid in the red cap of Warrender in lane 3, and we've got the red cap of Perth City, Elena Sanderson in 5, just ahead of Monifice Sadie Falconer. But it's Daisy Gilday ahead of Sky Petrie. That's your 1-2 at the 150. And Sky Petrie at 36.3, fastest in the water at the moment, and she's just 4/10 behind Daisy as they all bunch up here. So we've got swimmers from 3 to 8 all within 2 or 3 meters of each other. So this one could go a number of ways. Looks like Sky Petrie, well, you called it, Pam, that she is having a good weekend, and it's shaping up nicely at the moment. Has moved past Daisy into the lead at halfway to 20.34. You see a 37.0 there. So it's looking good from the outside lane for the Monifice swimmer. One of 2 Monifice swimmers in the pool. Still a good 6-way tussle here.
Yes, Sky did swim well yesterday in her 1500, I think it was. She did a 200 fly as well, so she's had a good weekend so far. But Sadie Faulkner also moving ahead here, certainly ahead of Elena Sanderson, but Daisy Gilday has dropped away, so it is Sky Petrie 2:57.56, and Jenny Maguire, the South Lanarkshire swimmer, lane 7. She has also upped her pace. So still all to play for here.
Yeah, definitely. We're now developing more into a 4-way contest. Lanes 5 and 6 just drop back a little bit, so still Sky in lane 8. But Jenny Maguire is definitely a threat, just 3/10 back now with 100 to go. 3:35.5 and 3:35.8. So who's going to have the pace at the back end of this one? And you certainly can't discount either Rebecca Reid in 3 or Sadie Falconer in 4. So 2 from Monifice in this battle, and 1 from Warrender, 1 from South Lanarkshire. Looks like it'll be these 4 deciding it as we come up to the final turn. Who's getting the touch? I think it might be Jenny. It is by 1500ths from Sky, so gone past Sky for the first time, but Sky might have something in the tank here to come back on this last length. Still side by side in 3 and 4, Rebecca Reid and Sadie Falconer, but I don't think they're going to be able to catch the 2 on the other side, and it's Jenny who has got the edge, but very little to choose, and Sky is starting to motor now, and the 2 of them coming up, but Jenny responds, and she's up by about a metre. She is going to take this one really hard into the wall. Great swim. What a good race that was. 4:47.79. Jenny Maguire takes it. 2 and a bit seconds inside her entry time. Sky gave it everything there from the outside lane. Also comfortably inside her entry time. 4:48.44. Sadie Falconer and Rebecca Reid just 1700ths apart. Both get under 4:50. So some very nice swims from our top 4, but Jenny Maguire takes the prize.
Spoils the Midlands party.
Well, Sky gave it a great go there, 4:48, so she can hold her head up. She beat her teammate Sadie, and she was the top Midland swimmer in that heat.
She was indeed. We move on now to her event 229, our 50 meters butterfly, male and open, 9 heats in this, so we'll be fast and furious here. In this first heat, we have lane 2, Aaron Russell, Bells Hill, lane 3, Clark, Malcolm Gill, Inverclyde, lane 4, Keaton Brown, City of Glasgow, lane 5, Sky Cowbunshire, University of Aberdeen Performance, lane 6, Jonathan McLean, East Lothian, and lane 7, Ewan Nielsen, Cumbernauld.
So just testing the starting system at the other end of the pool. That seems to be all sorted. So here we go with the 6 swimmers all up on the blocks. So entry times here, 29.2, 29.3. So don't expect there to be much in this one as they get going down the pool. We've got the best start, possibly lane 5, Sky Cowbunshire. Although also, well, others pretty close, and well, I said it was going to be close, and they're not disappointed me. Aaron Russell going well in lane 2. I think he might just have the edge. Lane 5 and lane 7 all close. That's Sky and Ewan Nielsen, but it's going to be lane 2, I think. It is the Bells Hill swimmer, Aaron Russell, 28.77. That's a nice half-second improvement for him. And half a second in the context of a 50 is a big PB. So well done to Aaron. 29.09, Ewan Nielsen also inside his entry time by about a quarter of a second.
Moving on to heat 2, lane 1, Joe Carty, City of Glasgow, lane 1, Joe Carty, City of Glasgow, lane 2, Jack Shaw, Bells Hill, lane 3, Richie Saunders Warner, lane 4, Dara Oldham, Heart of Midlothian, lane 5, Stanislav Herstov, Forth Valley, lane 6, Hamish Coates Best, lane 7, Harris Jap Airdrie, and lane 8, Clive Singh, Scotia. So this will be hard to call. I think everyone pretty much in a line here, possibly a good start over in lane 8. But lane 5, I think, may in fact lane 5, Stanislav Herstov, let's see. No, it's lane 8, it is indeed. Clive Singh, he did have a very good start. 28.26.
Yeah, so I said that a half-second PB was a very good PB, but that was a 9/10 PB for Heclavia, so we'll be very happy with that. 28.26. As we move on to heat 3, Finlay Duffin, Andrew Liu, Hayden Sterling, Ruben Pearson, Daniel Volkov, Keir Campbell, Calder Murphy, and Oliver Brown. Entry times here, 28.6 up to 29 dead. So can anyone match that 28.2 we just saw from Heclavia? And we need a good PB to do that. Good start in lane 4, Ruben Pearson of Bells Hill. He's maybe just got the edge, although coming at them now. Daniel Volkov in lane 5, and also lane 2 is Andrew Liu of Steprock. Oh, who's going to get this one? This could go anyway. Lane 7 is up there as well, Calder Murphy. It's going to be on the touch. Is it going to be lane 2? It is Andrew Liu, the youngster, 14-year-old from Steprock in St Andrews, takes the win, 28.57. So that is an improvement of just over 3/10 for him. So nicely done. Second, Daniel Volkov. Third, Ruben Pearson.
So heat 4, lane 1, Cam O'Donnell, lane 2, Luke Thompson, lane 3, Daniel Moorhouse, lane 4, Zachary Weatherhead, lane 5, Lewis Lothian, lane 6, Logan Warburton, lane 7, Kieran Brown, and lane 8, Theo Steriker. So ranging from 28.42 to 28.67, so really not much between any of these swimmers. which is evident here when you see them. They are all very much in a line. Perhaps it is lane 7, Kieran Brown, the Aberdeen swimmer, who has got a bit of an advantage here. And I think it is. He will take this. He does indeed in a time of 27.85. So first one below the 28 mark. Kieran Brown, 27.85. Daniel Moorhouse, 28.06. And Zachary Weatherhead, 28.15.
Yeah, so another very nice PB there. As we go on to heat number 5 now. Sam Cool, Luke Livingston, Tyler Spalding, Jackson Ogilvie, Lewis Aitchison, Isaac Buchan, Chat Wallace and Finley Johnson. 28.1 to 28.4 inch times here, so some more swimmers go under 28 here. Off they go. See the reaction times there, all sort of around the 0.6 mark. It's important to get strong reactions off the blocks. Coming up nicely in lane 3, Tyler Spalding, who's having a good weekend, the Carnegie swimmer. And it's going to be tight though. Lane 6 and 7 are right up there, Isaac Buchan and Jack Wallace, but I think it's going to be Tyler just doing enough to take it. Ooh, he could have got a slightly tidier finish, but he got the win, 27.81, 400ths faster than the previous heat, and nicely inside his entry time by 4/10. So he takes the win there from Jackson Ogilvie and Jack Wallace. And Isaac Buchan, who's within 400ths of each other, 2nd, 3rd and 4th.
So moving on to heat 6, Michael Winsip, Blair, lane 1, Blair McKean 2, Kyle Mossman 3, Nathan Wilson 4, Daniel Boyne 5, Alex Holmes 6, Ethan Stewart 7 and David Grabowski lane 8. Entry times here 27.76 to 28.13, so again not much between any of them. Good start in lane 5, Daniel Boyne, but I think also lane 7, Ethan Stewart. He is just pushing ahead here, the South Lanarkshire swimmer, and it is Ethan Stewart, 27.32. So that is also a PB for him. 0.7 under his entry time.
Yeah, nicely done. Thought for a moment our cameraman was going into the water there, but he just survived, so I hope he's okay. There's confirmation of that one. Heat 6, Ethan Stewart leading the way, 27.32. Fastest so far. Heat 7. There's your lineup. Stuart Clark, Taylor Hutton, Adam Prusik, Nathan Smith, Lewis Hopkins, Tom Massey, Rhea Rogers, the S14 para swimmer, and Edward Mills. Entry times here 27.4 to 27.7. So let's see if anybody emerges out of the pack here. It's all pretty close. Lane 5 maybe. It's really tight, this one. Lane 5 is Lewis Hopkins from University of Aberdeen. Is he going to get the touch? It's really anybody's race, this one. Who gets it? Oh, Nathan Smith does by 700ths from Lewis Hopkins. Adam Prusik in 3rd. 27.55 the winning time, so not quite as fast as the previous heat, but a good solid swim right on their entry times. Lewis 2nd, Adam Prusik 3rd.
So lane heat 8, lane 1 Brogan Smith, lane 2 Giuliano Lastroni, lane 3 Miller Cunningham, lane 4 Rory Webster, lane 5 Robert Christian, lane 6 Finlay Bruce, lane 7 Logan Scally, lane 8 Lewis Maxwell Pauls. Oh, no swimmers in lanes 3 and 4. So no Rory Webster and Robert Miller Cunningham, Rory Webster. So I think it's this side of the pool over in lane 2. Giuliano Lastroni, I think, may in fact have this, but Finlay Bruce in lane 6. It is Finlay 27-13 who takes that. Finlay Bruce just under his entry time. So Finlay Bruce, Giuliano Lastroni and Lewis Maxwell Pauls.
So the new fastest time there, with one heat to go, 27:13. Final heat. Let's check whether they are all there. Looks like they are. David Lamban, Alain Vido, Jaden Chan, Brigham Stecher, Rory Young, Benjamin McAvoy, Adam McLaren and James Gillies. So we've got one swimmer with a sub 27 entry time. Let's see if we can get some other swimmers under 27. So lanes 4 and 6 taking the pace here. That's Brigham Stecher and Benjamin McAvoy. Marlins and Sterling swimming. And it is going to be the Marlins swimmer who's taking this pretty comfortably for a 50 fly. 26.47. That's a very nice swim. So not quite enough to get a second swim, but an emphatic win from that heat, and by far the fastest we've seen this afternoon. It was Alain Vido second and Jaden Chan third. 27.21 for Alain, and Jaden pretty close to that as well. We'll stick with 50 butterfly, and it's the females with 9 heats as well.
So heat 1, lane 2 Eva Gordon, lane 3 Georgia Adamson, lane 4 Isabella Shaw, lane 5 Caitlin Hamilton, lane 6 Dia Glenn, lane 7 Orla Jeffrey. And these times at low 32s, so we'll see if we have any of our swimmers beating their entry times. I think it is lane 2 Eva Gordon who will have this, but may also be, yes, it is indeed lane 2 Eva Gordon, 31.64. And that's Eva comfortably under her entry time. So Eva Gordon, 31.64, Thea Glenn, 32.11.
Heat 2, Lucy McGovern, Cara White, Imogen Lowe, Eva Warburton, Abby Mitchell, Ellen McPhee, Emma Binney and Lucy Taylor. Times 31.9 to 32.1. So we saw a 31.6 in that first heat, so there'll be a PB required to be faster than that. See if anyone can do it. Not too much to choose between them. Lanes 5 and 6 perhaps in particular. Abby Mitchell in 5, Ellen McPhee in lane 6. Also going well in lane 1 is Lucy McGovern, and lane 8 as well, Lucy Taylor. So it's going to be the two outside lanes, I think, and it is Lucy McGovern who takes the win, City of Glasgow swimmer, in 31.31. We said we needed a PB to get faster. That's what we got. 0.8 improvement from Lucy, 15-year-old from City of Glasgow. Lucy Taylor second, Abby Mitchell third.
So moving on to heat 3, we have Lucy Morgan, Amy Dobson, Molly Scott, Sophie Clark, Amy Wanless, Rose McDermott, Leah Perschmidt and Erin Ferris. So good start in the centre lanes here in the pink cap. But I actually think it is now lane 3. Molly Scott. She's being put under pressure by lane 2. Over in lane 8. Might be lane 8. It is Amy Dobson in lane 2, 31.22. So that is 0.6 second PB under her time for Amy. Molly Scott 31.29 and Erin Ferris 31.46.
So some very close racing going on here. Well, we see the same in Heat 4. Line up Molly Weir, Ailey Fee, Jessie Norris, Sophia Falone, Caitlin Smith, Amy Rimmer, Winnie Rennick and Mary Eve Allain. 31.52, 31.7 entry times here. Off they go. Out of the dive. I can't really separate them. I'm going to try to anyway. Lanes 3 and 5. Jessie Norris in 3. Lane 5 is Caitlin Smith. It looks like those two just got the edge on the others. It's going to be pretty tight between them. I think Jessie in the dark cap. Well, I was going to say she's got the lead, but I'm not sure. She needs a good finish to make sure of it, but she got that and took the win in 30.92. So another good PB, 7/10 up on her entry time and first under 31 seconds. Nicely done, Jessie. Caitlin Smith second, Sophia Falone third. Glasgow University swimmer, formerly from the Borders.
Moving on now to Heat 5, Skye Petrie, Alice Finlay, Amelia Burrell, Niamh Scott, Beth Kelly, Anna Harkness, Maddie Houle and Sophie Haining. All these swimmers low 31s. So not much between them, but there may be just a slight advantage in the centre lane, lane 3, lane 4. Hayden Holmes, no, sorry, wrong, Niamh Scott and Beth Kelly. It is Anna Harkness and Niamh Scott. Anna Harkness 31.32. Niamh Scott 31.42 and Amelia Burrell 31.69.
So another very close one there, and on to heat number 6. We have Rebecca Reid, Amber Littlejohn, Cara Gombrel, Hayden Holmes, Bethan Hall-Jones, Beth Craik, Lily Lava and Emily O'Dwyer. So 31.1 to 31.3 the entry times here. Nice start from Cara Gombrel in lane 3. Looks maybe has the edge, although others are certainly up there with her now. Lane 6, 7 and 8 already close, pushing on now in 5, Bethan Hall-Jones. I think it might be Bethan just about in there, but with her is Beth Craik in lane 6. It's between these two, and it is Bethan who takes the win. In fact, Hayden Holmes just coming through, tying with Beth Craik for joint second. They're both on 31.14 behind Bethan's 30.96. So all those three inside their entry times. Nicely done. Bethan taking the win. Another older swimmer from Hearts, 29-year-old. So
Hearts older swimmers are showing them how it's done.
yeah, certainly are.
Heat 7, Iona Casapidis, Lauren Cantley, Katie Aitchison, Charlie Hoare, Amy McLeod, Millie Colvin, Matilda Wilson, Olivia King. So good start there in lane 3 for Katie Aitchison. But the centre lanes, lanes 4 and 5 coming at her, and I think it is the centre lanes that have this. Not much between these three. It will all come down to the finish, but I think the City of Glasgow swimmer Amy McLeod may just take this. She does indeed. 30:17, Amy McLeod. And that is 0.7 inside her entry time. Amy McLeod 30:17, Charlie Hoare 30:66 inside her entry time too, and Katie Aitchison 30:95 again inside her entry time. So that seems to be the way it's going today.
Yeah, good to see these sprinters really pushing it out here. Lane 8, we have Anna Lawson, Maya Reynard, Amelia Morris, Amber Niven, Alyssa Goodbrand, Gemma Brown, Emily Dickens and Emma Creaney. Each time's here 30.6 to 30.9. And we get close to 30 seconds here. Let's see as they come down the pool. Lane 2 is Maya Reynard of Silver City. She's, I think, just got the edge here, but it's another tight one as you would expect. Lane 6, 7 and 8 in a line on the other side of the pool. So it's these four, lane 2, 6, 7 and 8. Who gets the touch? It is Maya, I think. Yes, it is. 30:47. So Maya's entry time 30:87, so knocks 4/10 off. 30:71 for Gemma Brown and 30:89 for Anna Lawson. She won 2-3.
Move on now to our final heat. Ella Thompson, Caitlin Reid, Katie Jeffrey, Iona Riki Ayala, Amy Rowell, Gina Wren, Sophie Steele and Amola Josa. So ranging from 30:41 to 30:62, so really not much between these swimmers. So they're pretty much in a line here over this side of the pool. It may be the bright pink hat in lane 3, Katie Jeffrey, but 7, it was Katie Jeffrey, 30:56, Sophie Steele, lane 7, 30:59. So Katie just outside her entry time, Sophie Steele just on her entry time.
So after all those 50s, settle down to 2 heats of 1500 freestyle. Yeah, a bit of a contrast, but relax for next 35 minutes or so. We'll enjoy these distance swimmers' efforts. So it's the male 1500 today. We saw the opening 2 heats this morning. No, we didn't. These are our first 2 heats. What am I talking about? We have the fastest heat tonight, I can tell you that. So it'll be about setting the pace in this one to challenge that final heat. Looks like we have the full lineup for the first heat. The entry times range 17:24 to 17:57. Just getting the lap cars just where the swimmers want them, because they'll be aware that there are 30 lengths of the pool here. So the first number they'll see is 29, having completed 1 length. The lineup here: Fergus Reid of Geary in lane 1, Ethan Clark, University of Aberdeen Performance, in 2, Lewis Nelson of South Lanarkshire in 3, Alex Kral of Glenalbin in 4, Kyle Connolly, South Lanarkshire, in 5. Samuel Ruff, one of 2 14-year-olds, goes for City of Glasgow in 6. Cooper Sloss, Ren 96, in 7. And our second 14-year-old is Adam Gibson of Geary in lane 9. So I mentioned 17:28. Well, 17:24 rather. Alex Kral has the fastest entry time. The Glenalbin swimmer was 5th in the Irish Summer Championships last year. Of course, that will be coming up in a month or so's time, with the Irish season coming to a climax. But lane 5 is Kyle Connolly, and he's, I think, got the early lead, although over in lane 8, the youngster Adam Gibson also going well. And in lane 2, Ethan Clark, so all fairly close as we come to 100 metres. And it is by 200s Ethan Clark, 1:03.82.
Kai Connolly. No, it's not, is it? Yes, it is Kyle Connolly, South Lanarkshire swimmer. He's just pushed ahead here, ahead of Ethan, who was in the lead at the first 100. But there's a long way to go.
Yeah, but that 33.2 there was quite a bit faster than anybody else. So we'll see what's on their paces, but certainly making his intentions clear early on here, Kyle. South Lanarkshire swimmer. He did his time 17:28 up at national age groups in Aberdeen. He was 4th in that event. So let's see if he got another 33 in the tank for this one. Well, just slightly slower, 34.0 as he goes through 2:11.12. But he's got a lead now of over 2.5 seconds from Ethan Clark in lane 2, and then lane 6 and 8 contesting third. That's Samuel Ruff, the other 14-year-old, along with his fellow 14-year-old Adam Gibson. So there's a little contest going on there. Samuel Ruff was the national age group champion in the 14-year-olds, and Adam Gibson was silver medalist in Aberdeen. So it was Samuel that got the advantage in that contest. So they'll be very conscious of each other, I'm sure, in this one, looking for bragging rights in the 14-year-old age group. But, well, it looks like Kyle Connolly very much taking this one out, with nobody going with him at the moment. Check on his split here. 34.4 this time, 3:19.90. So that was around about a 68.7 for his third 100. Slightly slower than his previous one. I think it was 67.3 his previous one.
So he's splitting 34 his last two. So just dropped slightly, so it will be interesting to see how his race progresses, but he's certainly taking it out.
Yeah, there's leading two. Certainly Kyle has swum this a fair number of times, and we talked about Geary being a good distance programme. So very much is South Lanarkshire. Coach Andy Figgins loves his distance swimming. East Kilbride and South Lanarkshire, and it is East Kilbride where Kyle is based. South Lanarkshire is an amalgamation of a number of clubs: East Kilbride, Lanark, Rutherglen, Hamilton Baths as well. I think they're the main ones. Apologies if I've missed some out. 4:29.02, so about a 69 that time, just over. So pace slightly dropping here, but still faster, quite a bit faster than anybody else. So cameraman working hard to keep more than one swimmer in shot. We've got two at the moment, with Ethan Clark ahead, but not by that much over Adam Gibson, who's certainly got the advantage at the moment in that 14-year-old contest. So Samuel Ruff that had it in Aberdeen, but will Adam get his revenge here in Edinburgh? Early, as you said, Pam, early days.
It is early days in a 1500. But as we come up to the 1/3 way, we have 5 37.15. So Kyle still splitting at 34.26 there. So just watching, Ethan splitting a 35. So maintaining fairly consistent split, which is what his coach will be wanting him to do. Consistently splitting.
He was actually quite a bit faster on that 100, 68.1 versus the 69.1 for the previous 100. So he's feeling pretty good at the moment.
Picked up his pace.
34.6, and that's more down to the 69 sort of territory. But Ethan Clark still in second place. You just got a picked shot of Adam Gibson turning. It gets quite hard now for us to keep track of the swimmers, as you can only see one in the shot at the moment. You get a chance to see them as they turn, so keep your eye on that and you'll see the others coming up. Here they are through the turn, 600 metres, 6:46.32, and a 69 there. And you can see Ethan Clark was clear in second, and Adam Gibson third.
Yes, it's tricky for the cameraman to keep track of what's going on here, but there's no doubt about it. Kyle Connolly is our leader. Just slowed down a bit there, 34.95, the first time we've seen a high, 34 from him. We have Ethan Clark in lane 2, University of Aberdeen performance swimmer, and Adam Gibson. So a north battle between the 14 and 15-year-olds for second and third. But Ethan seems to have that under control at present. Geary swimmer over in lane 8.
Yeah, it's just got a shot there of Samuel Ruff and Cooper Sloss, pretty much stroke for stroke, going up the pool in the opposite direction from Kyle there. So we'll get a shot of them when Kyle comes back towards the start end as well. 8:30 at halfway. 8:30.46. So now, as you can see, there's not too much between Ethan Clark and Adam Gibson. There's the two side by side behind them, Samuel and Cooper, followed by Lewis Nelson in lane 3. I think actually that was Alex Cole, was it? I think I saw her in the red cap of Glen Albin. 9:05.32 then at 800. So 69.5 roughly. Yeah, 34.8 on that split. So we can get to see where everybody else is when Kyle comes back and passes the others going in the other direction. So he goes through 8:50 in 34.3, so that's fastest he's done for a little while, so that's good. And you can see Ethan Clark still not that far ahead of Adam Gibson, and then you can see lane 3, Lewis Nelson in 5th, and then the others. So as we go a bit closer into Kyle, working pretty hard there, pretty fast stroke rate as he comes up now to 900. 10:14.27. That's the other thing that's nice to see, is that 900 metres there, just keeping us as commentators straight just how far they've gone. Always comforting to know that you are where you think you are. I guess that's true for the swimmers as well with their lap cards, that they need to know where they are in the race. just can look up at those lap cards, and you'll see that Kyle will get a number 11 there, which says he's got 11 lengths to go at this turn, so it'll be 1,000 meters next time he's up at the start end. Another high-ish 34, so he's pretty consistent at that, pacing nicely here. See as he comes up to 1,000 meters where he's at, so he was 5:37 for his first 500. You wouldn't expect his second 500 to be as fast as that. That had the benefits of the dive, and usually they go quite fast down that first length. But here they are, 11:23. How's your maths, Pam? Minus 5:37. So what's that? 5:40-ish, something, 5:44, I think, for his second 500. So if you do that again, we're talking about just over 17 minutes, if I've got my maths right.
And his entry time 17:28:45, so...
Yep, feels a bit right. Kyle's entry time is 17:28, so he's going well here. This could be a very nice improvement on his entry time. As I said, I think I said earlier, he did his entry time up in Aberdeen at National Age Group, so it's a fairly recent time, April. So if he can knock a good few seconds off that here in Edinburgh, that would be a very good job done. Still quite a way to go though. 400 to go at this turn. 12:33. So again, that's about a 69.5. So keeping that pace very nicely intact.
He is very consistent actually in his splits, not changing hugely.
Yeah, I guess that's something that you learn with experience. Things changing a little bit. Remember, we had those swimmers in 6 and 7 together. Well, now it is Cooper Slosser's pulled away from Samuel Ruff. We just got a chance to see that. So we'll see if we can catch the other swimmers as Carl comes back. Let's have a look. So he goes through another 34.6. There is Ethan. He's still in second place. Look up to lane 8. He's increased his lead over Adam. And then, well, nobody in sight at the moment behind Adam Gibson. There's the next one. And it's tight now between Lewis in 3 and Cooper in 7. And Samuel Ruff just a little bit behind them, followed by Alex Kral. Kyle, meanwhile, 13:42.63, so another 69. In fact, slightly faster there, 69.2 for that 100. So if he can pick it up now, it does look like he's increased his stroke rate a bit. Showing very nice technique here, not too much splash going on. Leg's not doing too much yet, but that time will come. But, just a little sort of break in his swim as he breathes, but now into a nice rhythm again. 34.8. So he's been in that sort of mid to high 34s all the way. And you can see Ethan still with that lead of what's that, about 6-7 meters probably over Adam. And then that big gap. Let's check on that then. Looks like lane 7. Cooper Sloss has now moved past Lewis Nelson, so he's now in 4th place. 200 to go for Kyle. 14:52.28. So again, about a 69.5. So now it gets a bit easier to do the maths. So if he does say a 2:18, that would be 17:10. I expect him to be a bit faster than that, because I would think he will find something in the last 100. So something under 17:10, let's hope for.
Not picking up his pace hugely, but still 34.67. Let's see if that changes as we progress into the closing stages of his race. I don't think there's been much change between Ethan Clark and Adam Gibson, but we have seen Cooper Sloss really moving ahead here, ahead of the others. Samuel Ruff and Lewis Nelson. So that's Kyle Connolly taking the bell, 100 metres to go. So your prediction might be about right, Duncan.
So low 34's there. Now, he might just hold that pace in this length and then go for it down the final 50, or will he up his pace? So the legs are going a little bit more here. You can see that he is coming up at Alex Kral, so that gives him somebody to target in this final length to try and get up and lapping Alex. So I'm sure will not want that to happen, but whether he can stop it, I'm not sure, because here comes Kyle, and you would expect him to be under that 34 on this final 50. This has been a brilliant swim. Clock just into the 17 minutes. I think he might be under 17:10. He's certainly going to be under 17:10. What a brilliant swim from Kyle. 17:07:31. So just remember, it's 17:28, just done 2 months ago. So 21 seconds knocked off that. Brilliant stuff, Kyle. Well done. Now here comes the second place swimmers, and this has got tighter all of a sudden.
It has indeed. We have, because there was quite a big margin between them, but the Geary swimmer has closed that down. But we have Ethan Clark, 17:30:52, and that is a 15-second drop for Ethan Clark, and Adam Gibson of Geary, 17:32:37. That is a 25-second drop for him. So big drops here.
Yeah, very nicely done. Cooper Sloss there, 17:57, just outside his entry time. And here come the others just into the 18 minutes to complete the race. So Adam Gibson getting his revenge after Aberdeen, where Sam Ruff beat him, comprehensively beat him there with a big PB. So very nicely done. There's confirmation of the result. Kyle Connolly, the star of the show, 17:07:31 to lead the first heat. So just checking out, we have all 8 swimmers in place for heat number 2. Reminder, heat 3 goes tonight, so this is our last race of the afternoon. And we have Taylor Sinclair in lane 1 for Elgin, Innes Gow of Geary in 2, Connor Aspinall of East Lothian in 3, Aidan Anderson, University of Aberdeen Performance in 4, Connor Stewart, Sterling Swim in 5, Aaron Drake, Warrender in 6, Andrew Patterson, City of Glasgow in 7, and Oliver Fenwick of Hatfield in 8. So quite a range of entry times. 16:37 is the fastest. That's 15-year-old Aidan Anderson, the youngest swimmer in the field here, up to 17:21. The Hatfield swimmer Oliver Fenwick. They're all in a line early on here. So quite nice for our cameraman to be able to see all 8 swimmers. He probably won't see that for terribly long in this race, but we'll never know.
That's a change from the previous race.
So over in lane 8, it's Oliver Fenwick, slowest on paper. No, in fact, it's Aidan Anderson just getting the touch. Looked like it was going to be Oliver. But 1:04:58, and it's not as fast as Kyle, so that'll be interesting as well to see whether these swimmers can match Kyle's pace, or will he end up being the fastest from the afternoon heats. So his time of 17:07:31 compares with, well, I think 4 of these swimmers with faster entry times than that. So you remember he was pacing 34s, Aidan Anderson 33.5, and Connor Aspinall 34.0 in second place now in lane 3. So they are both pacing a bit faster than Kyle. So we'll check. Kyle was 2:11 at the 200 mark. So we'll see where Aidan is. He's certainly going to have the lead at 200 from Connor Aspinall. Aidan in the white cap goes through, well, pretty much the same time, 2:11.18, but pacing 33.0. So expect him to be faster once they get to 300 meters. See whether Connor Aspinall can go with him, or will Aidan pull away. Aidan Anderson is a member of the Youth Academy. He was National Age Group Champion in this event. That's where he did his 16:37 entry time. So he was swimming in the 15-year-old age group at Snags. Connor Aspinall, a year older than him. He was silver medalist in his age group up in Aberdeen. And he's staying on the toes of Aidan. In fact, maybe just be interesting to see their splits in this one, whether Connor is going a little faster. What do you think, Pam?
Yeah, I think he's picked up his pace slightly. He was on his toes, but he's now just pulled himself a wee bit closer, I think. It's always hard to know until we see the splits, but I think we might see that. Yes, indeed,
Yep.
You can see that. Yeah, Connor's now a low 33, Aidan a 33.64. So this could be quite interesting.
Yeah, so we'll see whether Connor can maintain that progress. So he's just about, well, a bit on the knees, I would say, of Aidan. Both of them at 300, slightly faster than Kyle Connolly's split. Just look as they come into the turn. That seems to be where Connor sort of picks up the pace. So let's see. They picked up another 2/10 there. So the gap is now about 6/10. So it certainly looks like it's going to be a battle between these two. Behind them, lane 5 and lane 7, still in camera shot, which is nice to see. I think we only have one swimmer by this stage in the first heat. That's Connor Stewart in 5, Andrew Patterson in 7. And behind them you can see lane 2 in Iscow and lane 6, Aaron Drake. So only 400s now between Aidan and Connor, so this is getting very close. They are now about 2.5 seconds faster than Kyle Connolly. His split at 400. And Connor right beside Aidan now. You love it when you get a tight contest in the 1500. You can't beat it, can you?
A far more interesting race when it's like this. And they will push each other along.
Yeah, there'll be some tactics involved as well. They'll be watching each other. Is anybody going to make a break? Connor now has just got the touch by 700s. You can see a 10th faster on that 50, but that was only a 10th faster. It was more than that he was making up on Aidan. So Aidan will be very aware that Connor is right there beside him, having been a body length back. So what's he going to do to respond as we approach 500? Third place, lane 7, is Andrew Patterson. I think that's a change from Connor Stewart. So still just a 10th in it between our leading two.
In a way, this perhaps is not the best, because no one would be prepared to make a move, and they will just vie with each other. So it'll be very interesting to see how it pans out.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be wanting to put in a spurt. They're probably more likely just want to try and inch their pacing up a little bit. And Aidan has done that, down to 33.7 there. So he's gone back into the lead. And you see there's a little bit more leg action from Aidan now. So he is working harder, I think, than Connor at the moment. And that has just pushed him into a narrow lead. We've seen a lot of open water swimming from Connor Aspinall recently. and he'll be taking that experience back into the pool here. He's about half a metre back as they go through 600, 3/10 the gap. So Aidan is trying to open this gap up a little bit. So it's not about making big pushes, but just putting a little increase in your pace and then saying, right, match that if you can. So the question is, can Connor match it?
And interestingly, now them are sitting about 5 seconds faster than Kyle.
And you see there, 33.8 against 34.2, so another 4/10 picked up by Aidan. So I wouldn't say it's crisis time for Connor yet, but he will be aware that Aidan has just opened that gap up a bit. You can see he's breathing at the moment on Aidan's side, so he'll know exactly where Aidan is. He'll have his own ideas about how he wants to play this. They both will. So at 700, Kyle was 7:55, so you can see it's 6 and 5 seconds respectively faster than that here, 7:49.33 and 7:50.04. Just got a shot there of a very tight contest going on for third. We'll check when the swimmers come back down the other side, the other direction I should say, as to what's going on for third place. At the front, Aidan still just edging it. Another 10th added onto his lead. So here come the following group, and you see there lanes 6 and 7 side by side. Aaron Drake in 6 and Andrew Patterson in 7, just ahead of Connor Stewart in 5. Aidan's lead is definitely increasing here with every length, and it's increasing a bit more, I think, in this one.
He's slowly building, isn't he? Just inching.
Well, about the same pacing on that one, in fact, so maybe Connor just starting to respond now. He certainly will not want that gap to grow more than it has done. So they're pacing sort of 67.5. They've been pretty consistent on that, or Aidan has. So I'm not quite ready to do my predictions yet. It's all maths far too complicated at this point in the proceedings. Well, let's just check. Another 4/10 for Aidan. So he's got the lead over a second now. First time it's been over a second. So he is turning the screw here. And Connor, well, can he respond? Can he stay in touch? Rely on a fast climax? Certainly you wouldn't say it's over yet. Still 600 meters to go at this turn. But advantage is with the University of Aberdeen swimmer. 1.2 the gap, 33.5, exactly the same pacing there. Now about 10 seconds faster than the time we saw from Kyle Connolly. So what do you think's going on in their minds at the moment? Will they be worrying about each other, or will they be saying, right, my race, I'm going to swim it my way?
There must be a sense that they know each other are there, and depending on if they know who's got the burst of speed at the end, there must be that thought. Is that for what I don't know? Is Aidan thinking I need to make a move now? Who knows?
Yeah, it does look to be making a move. I would think they'll be, have given a race strategy that they'll have agreed with their coach going into this swim, and it'll be about executing that just as well as you can. We can see there half a second, and now it's 2 seconds the gap. So this is now getting to be a problem for Connor. You can see there as it just went through there, lane 6 was Aaron Drake, now has a little bit of a lead over Andrew Patterson in third place. They're quite a long way behind these two, though. Aidan Anderson is continuing to really grind this out. And, well, 33.8 against 34.5. This might be over as a contest. It was. Aidan Anderson has the faster entry time by around 8.5 to 9 seconds, so we shouldn't be surprised that this is how it's working out. In fact, it was more than that. It was more like 19 seconds. I was looking at the wrong swimmer there. So Connor is actually going very well to stay as close as he is to him. So 400 to go, 12.18. So again, just over a 67 there. So 4 more 67s, 4:28. So that would be about 16:46. Aidan's entry time 16:37, so he will need to wind it up to match that 16:37. He will, of course, pick up the pace, you would think, in the latter stages, so he won't be far away from it. You would think Connor is going to be inside his 16:56, so I think, we'd have to look at it. It's about the times and his progression against his targets. Not to worry too much about the fact that he is losing ground against the leader. So they are now, 7 meters between them. So Aidan certainly has the heat in his hand with 300 to go. 13:25. So that was another just under 67 there. Another 4/10 added onto that lead. And you can see Aaron Drake there well ahead now of Andrew Patterson, so he's looking good for third place. You have to keep your eyes sharply tuned to check out on the progress of these other swimmers as you see them briefly while we track the leaders. So 12:50, 2:50 to go, 5 lengths of the pool. The gap is over 5 seconds. So gradually increasing there. You can see Aaron Drake with a lead of about 10 meters or so on Andrew Patterson. Not far behind them in lane 2 was Iniscal, so he might be in contention to give Andrew Patterson a run for his money. 200 to go for Aidan, 14:31.85, and he was under 67 now, about 66.7. And you can see he's got this one now well clear. He's a long way clear of Connor now. So you can see there, third, Aaron Drake, fourth, Andrew Patterson. Andrew's actually got more than I thought over Iniscal, so he should be okay for fourth. Then we had Oliver Fennick, I think, behind him. So he's going well from the outside lane. 150 just to go now, 15:05.
He's got this well under control now, doesn't he? There's no stopping him.
So I think the question now is not whether he's going to win, but how is he going to finish against his 16:37 entry time. He might struggle. The bell sounds for him. I don't know that he's going to make that 16:37. He'd have to do a sub-minute for his final 100, and that, I think, is a very big ask. So he goes through 15:38. Connor's time there, 15:46. So let's look at his time, 16:56. So he needs to go under 110 for his final 100. He should be able to do that, you would think. And let's see. As they come up to their final turns, and you hear bells ringing for other swimmers. That will be Aaron Drake getting it. 16:11, that was a 32, so say he does a 31, that would be a 16:43. So he's going to be maybe 5-6 seconds away from his entry time, but that's a pretty good effort. He probably hasn't rested for this meet. He'll have other things in mind, probably, I imagine, going down to Sheffield. So let's see what he can finish in. Clock just coming up through the 1640s, and here he comes, 16:42.05. He did pick up that pace there, 30.98 to finish on. Well done, Aidan. Here comes Connor. Is he going to get inside 16:56? Yes, he is, 16:53. It's a nice improvement of about 3 seconds for him. Now we see Aaron Drake. He was entered 17:02. Don't think he'll match that, but he will take third in this heat. Coming up now is final few meters. And finishing 17:18. Next home, Andrew Patterson. 17:25. Ines Gow, 17:30. Oliver Fennick, 17:38. And Connor Stewart, 17:44. And Taylor Sinclair, 17:47. So that's your complete second heat. There's your confirmation of that. Reminder that the third heat goes tonight. So 16:42.05 will be the time for the final heat to beat. That is slower than all their entry times, so you would think that the medals will come tonight. We are done for the afternoon, so we've had a good session and we look forward to your company this evening. Pam, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Duncan.
You see our coverage begins at 5:25, so you've got plenty of time, 45 minutes to maybe get a bite to eat, cup of tea, and then we'll see you all again for our day 2 finals coming up very soon. Good night, good afternoon.